Hello my friends and welcome to a Geek Peek one-shot using the Call of Cthulhu game system. I'll be your keeper of arcane lore, Cody. Joining me shortly will be our investigators. I just wanted to take a quick moment to set aside to warn you of potential traumas and scariness coming up. Call of Cthulhu game system does focus a lot on psychological horror. There are sanity mechanics in place, and while I have spoken to all of my players about their stipulations and restrictions on content in the game, obviously I cannot speak to every one of you, so I'd just like to take this moment to warn you that while we value everybody's safety, both physically and mentally, this game might push up against some issues that are of a sensitive nature to you. And if at any time you feel unsafe, feel free to pause the video, and if you're able to later, continue watching when you feel more comfortable. We hope you enjoy the story, and look forward to seeing you soon. Hey everyone, before we get too far into the video, we are excited to announce that we've joined the Creator Accountability Network. CAN is a nonprofit dedicated to reducing harassment and abuse through ethical education and a system of restorative accountability. We joined because we care about the safety and well-being of our community members. If you feel our behavior or content has harmed someone, please report it to CAN, either through the reporting form on their website, creatoraccountabilitynetwork.org, or via their hotline at 617-249-4255. They'll help us make it right and avoid repeating that mistake in the future. CAN also needs volunteers from our communities to help with their process. So if you have skills that you think would be valuable or time and a desire to help, please visit their website to find out how you can volunteer. Most importantly, get the word out to other creators who you think would be interested in getting credentialed. Help us build safer communities together. Thanks. We open on a storm approaching from the east as midnight falls over a well-manicured lawn that is quickly trampled as two sets of feet speed over it. In the hush of night, two figures appear, a man and a woman, running from something, very clearly panicked as they try to make some sort of escape. The woman is young, slender of build, her short auburn hair disheveled and tousled as she's running through the night. The man next to her, also young, is just a few steps ahead of her, taller bodied, longer legs, a little quicker. As they make their way across this lawn, a single gunshot runs out, and the man disappears from her view. She doesn't even have time to look back as she continues running. She skids to a halt as she gets to a sharp cliffside, staring out over the open ocean. As the storm comes in, she stops for the briefest of moments, looking down 100, 200. Nobody can tell in the moment how far down it is. But she does quick calculations on, can I survive this? And as she decides that uncertain death is better than certain death, she goes to step out over the ledge, looking down, and she sees appearing in her chest a sharp red tip of a dagger as it's pushed through her back, erupting out of her chest in a spray of crimson and just a faint glimmer of steel on a crooked, curved dagger. And as she contemplates this for a moment, not really even realizing exactly what happened, the pain hasn't made it to her brain yet, but she knows this isn't right. I'm not supposed to have anything sharp erupting from my chest. A large hand is placed on her shoulder and whispered into her ear so that only she can hear. And as the dagger is ripped out of her body and she's shoved off the cliff, she starts to spiral as she falls, and looking up at the cliff edge, she sees 1, 2, 5, a dozen figures as she starts to fall. The storm moves in, and she spins back around and sees the approaching water rushing up at her, and just hears a booming voice echoing out over the expanse of the ocean. And she plunges into darkness. July 1st begins like any other day for all of you. It is a warm summer day in the state of Massachusetts, located in the country of the United States of America. As we check in with everybody before the party starts, I would like all of you to deduct 20% of your luck points, as none of you had a restful sleep the night before. Percival, this might be something normal for you. There goes James. Percival, that might be something normal for you. But as your day begins, tell us how it begins.
It begins with a headache, as most days begin. Truly, a hangover to meet all hangovers. Trying almost to triumph over the one he had the day before. It's just a series of headaches, and everything's kind of a blur. And the only cure he's ever been able to drink of is more. So anyways, you see him get up and proceed. It's very much just like a studio apartment. It's nothing special, very rinky-dink. And you see a closet full of just brand new clothes that he's like now just grabbing whatever he wants that he thinks looks great, and slapping it all together. There's a bathtub in the middle of the room. It's all very dirty. He doesn't clean very often, but the bathtub's filled with some sort of weird sludge that he just plunges a bottle into, fills it up, and then throws on an outfit of just like 20 different things that don't really go together, but they're all high quality, but they just don't belong together. He nonetheless throws it all on. He's quite proud of himself, grabs his bottle, grabs this mask that he picked up in Europe, and just makes his way out the door, excited because someone wants to talk to him about his creations, and he's excited to talk to anyone about it who'd love to hear him out.
As you make your way outside, there is a car already waiting for you. You were told that you would be picked up, and they are ready to leave whenever you would like. Is there anything you would like to do before you hop in and begin your journey?
Well, as he exits out, he hears the car kind of honk a horn to try and signal for him, and yeah, the sudden loud noise coupled with the headache in the morning, it brings him back for a moment, just for a moment. A day in the trench, explosions constantly hearing off in the distance, wondering if the next explosion is going to be for him, and that's the fear that we're putting into this. Loud noises very suddenly. If he knows it's coming, you set a firework in front of him, it bothers him, but he can kind of handle it. But if you threw a loud noise right behind him, all of a sudden it sets off a little bit of a flashback, and he kind of can't freeze up sometimes, a lot of the time actually. But he takes a quick swig again and just quickly hops out and just moves along and smiles, puts up the mask, a different kind of mask than this one, and just enters the car excited, hey there, what's your name?
The chauffeur does not respond, just says, "We're on our way," and starts driving.
That's a weird name, sir. We're on your way. Have a good day.
In the back seat, there is a small little set of snacks, a couple simple finger sandwiches.
Ooh,
and there's a little decanter of water.
That's too clear for my taste.
Throw some mud in there, muddy it up a little bit. The trip out is fairly boring. It's still pretty early in the morning, but as you're taking your trip out there, you said that you were excited to talk to somebody about your hobbies. You heard through your various connections that Vincent Lacosta is interested in discussing your recipe with you, and that is why you garnered this invite. Um, Is there anything else your character would like to think about on the trip? Or are you just going to hang out, think about like going over your recipe? Like, do you actually have a recipe that you're trying to remember, or is it just like a dash of this, a splash of that?
So it's about halfway through the drive that he remembers that he left his journal with the recipe at home, and now he's trying to recall everything from memory, but his memory is muddled. He has to write things down, and he does have a handy notebook on hand, but honestly, it's not the one with the recipe in it. And he has a bottle of his stuff, just not the recipe, and he's panicking because it's like, oh man, I'm showing up to a business meeting unprepared. But for him, it's just like, oh man, I'm showing up and I'm supposed to be this thing, and I'm supposed to do this, and uh, run away, sir. Can you like? Is there a chance we could turn around, or is it too late?
Go ahead and we'll start this off this way. Give me a persuasion check.
Oh yeah, that is a 62 under 75.
So that was a success.
Yes.
Okay. You see the chauffeur pulls out a pocket watch, looks at the time. All right, we'll be quick though. And he very quickly like pulls a U-turn, and you can see you can feel the car accelerating, trying to get back to your place, so that he can still show up on time.
Thank you, Mr. Runaway.
But you are able to go back to your apartment, rush upstairs, grab your notebook, the correct notebook this time, and hop back in the car and take off from your apartment for the second time that day. As you're making your way again, we shift to Katie. Katie, how are you starting your day? And is there anything you're preparing for before your chauffeur picks you up?
I think Katie is. She probably, considering the rough morning that we all woke up in, Katie probably would have fallen asleep at her desk, um, trying to get some work for her journalism, reportive investigating, trying to solve any cold cases around the office that she could probably find. That's probably what she's been up to leading up to now. So she's probably just getting herself ready for this event, and trying to forget, take her mind off of actually the other cases, 10 different cases that she's trying to solve at the same time, and try to actually focus on what's going to be coming up, and getting her notes ready, getting her stuff ready, before leaving to the party.
Okay. And is Katie typically a sleeping all night in the office girl, or did she go home last night knowing that this was coming up today?
Oh no, she definitely slept at the office.
Okay.
Not purposeful.
Okay.
It never is purposeful, but she takes pride in her work, and she likes to work and trying to get better at it.
Okay. Are you rushing home then to get together before you get picked up, or are you hoping that the chauffeur will be at the office?
I think that she's hoping that the chauffeur would be at the office.
Okay. You rush through like a little bathroom shower type situation,
Yes.
wash off the face, wash off the pits, kind of smooth out your clothes a little bit. What does Katie look like?
So she has like a little over shoulder length brown hair, kind of wavy. She is in this same exact outfit that I'm wearing currently. She usually has heels, some black tights, and maybe some light makeup, nothing too much, but just subtle. And then yeah, that's pretty much how she would look like. And most likely carrying around a notebook, maybe like a camera of some sort. Um, Probably like one of those cameras that like sling around the, you know, that just go around the neck.
Okay.
And yeah, just like a journal and like a pencil. That's her normal day to day outfit,
Okay.
and that's what she's going to the party as.
And what would be something that Katie is afraid of?
Um, Snakes.
Snakes?
Yes.
Straight, simple, to the point. I like
Straight,
it.
simple, to the point. Yeah. Um, yeah. She's also wearing a skirt. I forgot to mention that, but yeah.
Okay.
Like
You make your way out of the office. You've done your little like quick brush up as far as a refresh, and you make your way out of the office, and you do see a simple black car already idling, waiting for you. Again, calling attention to you. Um,
yeah, she'll definitely like hop in the back seat.
Same setup as was in Percival's. There's like a small little tray of like little snack food, some finger sandwiches, and there's a little decanter of water and some glasses. They say
Yeah,
we're on our way, and they start taking off as well.
awesome. She'll dig into some of those finger sandwiches. Absolutely.
As you're getting your free breakfast that you definitely did not have time to eat anything before you left, you're kind of distracted, so you don't notice. Lizzie, your day starts a little bit differently as you did not sleep at home either. You were staking out Katie, and you start following her through traffic. But how does Lizzie's day start to get to that point?
Yeah, I think Lizzie is excited for this kind of stakeout. So she was up all night, both because of the lack of sleep, but also just the anticipation. Um, she's currently hanging out in an alleyway, leaned up against her Norton motorcycle. She's got like short shoulder length brown hair. She's fairly tall, like 5'9", 5'10", and she's done up for a party. It's really like she's trying to be inconspicuous, but dressed like this in an alley, it just doesn't really work. She's in like a black dress with gold floral embroidery at the bottom, and then one of those like headbands, also with a gold flower. And then she's in a brown bomber jacket that says Army on it. Yeah, and she's hanging out and she hears that car horn. So she puts away the newspaper she's read like 5 times and peeks out of the alley, sees Katie get in, hops on her bike and starts tailing them.
Okay. Katie, go ahead and give me. Let's see here. What do I want to check you to make? That was the sentence structure I chose. Give me a spot hidden, and Lizzie, give me a ride check.
Jeez. Can it be drive auto?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, that'll be fine.
That's a little better. All right, still bad. So that's a failure, 50 over 31.
Ten and 9 is 19, right? I believe.
Yes.
So that would be it would be 19. Under 50 is the regular for my spot hidden. So yeah, 19 under 50.
Okay, so for you, that would actually be a hard success because that was also under your half value of 25. What is it? There's a success, a hard success, and then another success level. That is if you make it under that fifth value.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's under half.
extreme success is under your 5th extreme. I can never remember the correct wording because I always just think critical success, but that's a different game. So on a hard success versus a failure, even being distracted by your sandwiches and like your quick little breakfast, you do notice Lizzie following you. She's doing her best to like stay back enough, but as you start to exit the city, especially this early, there's not any traffic that Lizzie can hide behind. There's your car, and then maybe 100 yards back or so, there's a motorcycle. So it's fairly apparent that maybe you don't notice that it's Lizzie particularly, but you do know that it's a woman on a motorcycle. That number is pretty small in 1923. So you can make your assumptions however you would like. Lizzie.
Yeah.
Yes.
What is something Lizzie's afraid of?
She is afraid of the ocean, but like specifically if she were in the ocean being like grabbed and like dragged down by something, whatever lurks underneath the waves.
Getting grabbed by something. Oof, that is creepy.
Yeah.
Okay. As you two start to exit the city, Lizzie, with that hard success, I will say that you also notice, or not Lizzie, I'm sorry, Katie, with that hard success, you notice a very similar car that is probably about another 100 yards or so behind Lizzie, which will be Percival now that they're running a little bit late, having had to go back to his apartment for his notebook. We shift to what I would assume would be a boat rocking on the waves, as I assume that Harrow sleeps on his boat down by some dock. Harrow, would you please introduce your character and how your morning typically starts?
The other goers of the dock see a grizzled old fisherman hammering away at his boat, whistling a tune pleasantly beneath the morning sun. He flips open a compass. Aye, that be the East Coast. And continues working away at the repairs he needs to make on his boat, having sailed all the way from England. He's wearing a thick woolly hat, warm gloves, missing their fingers. He's got a thick jacket on that seems to be dripping, despite the fact it hasn't been raining at all, and he doesn't seem to have. The rest of him isn't wet. It's just a jacket that seems to be perpetually soaking. And a eye patch covers one of his eyes with a light scar going alongside of it. A scraggly salt and pepper beard covers his face, which wears a smile of someone who has few cares in the world. He has his boat, the Titan, unsinkable, I'll have you know, and he has his fishing gear, and that's all he needs. What the people don't see is when he heads inside, removes the eye patch to reveal a perfectly functioning eye that is bloodshot, more red than white. And he sighs as he stares out at the waves. And his true fear, though a man of the sea he may be, all that lurks beneath the depths. There are many things down there that should not be found. And he's perpetually afraid he'll find more of them. But then he steps back out, slides his eye patch back down, and he's a jolly old pirate again, me lad.
Arr! Okay. As your day starting as early as it does, you are probably the one person that was up before your ride arrives. So as you're doing some repairs on your boat, you have this moment inside where, you like you said, you've removed your eye patch, you're looking at that bloodshot eye that works fine, but would just be a terror to anybody that sees it. Go ahead and make me a sanity check. Listen, it's a one shot. We're going hard, we're going hot.
All right. That is... I believe that... low is good, right? That's just 4.
Yes, the lower the better.
That's 4.
That's a 4.
Just 4.
Okay, that is an extreme success. As you're thinking about your situation, your eye, hiding it, trying to, you're like you said, you're a man of the water, you're a man of the sea, but now you have this like small fear in the back of your mind about, but what's beneath that? I've only gone down this far. They say it goes down so much farther. And you start like, you have a brief moment where like you have some palpitations and your breathing becomes shortened, but then you remember that like, wait, I am a man of the sea. I am the man of the sea. The sea does not control me. I control the sea.
Nothing may
And
shake
you're
a
able
man,
to
waves.
exactly. You're able to calm yourself down, and because of that extreme success, there will be no sanity loss. Well done. Is there anything else you would like to do before you get into the car and head off to the party?
I think as the car arrives, Harrow looks out, does a little nod to himself, and begins to gather up a few of his supplies. Nothing he should reasonably need at a party. Like his compass, his spyglass, hooking everything onto his belt, just in case. He lays a solemn hand on the Titan. Farewell, me lass. I'll see you again soon. Adjusts his eye patch.
Kiss the boat.
Yeah, gives the boat a little kiss. Adjusts his eye patch. And yeah, he steps out to the car.
Okay. As you start to approach the car and you're putting distance between you and the ocean, the few feet that it is from the dock to the parking area, you do have like a small sense of relief wash over you, but in the back of your mind, you just hear a slight whisper of, bring me back. But you shake it off.
To the party we go.
And we're off. Checks his pocket watch, and the car takes off, weaving its way through this early morning traffic. Late that it is, it's still a Friday morning. As we shift to Augustine, how does your morning start, and what does your character look like?
So I think because you said we didn't get a good night's sleep, so I think at a certain point, maybe around 4 or so, he just gave up and like got up and like sat around in like a big fluffy robe doing some inventory on like some old coins. He runs a antique shop called the Silver Spoon Boutique. He's a man in his late 50s. I think his hair is probably mostly gray at this point. Still fairly handsome, but has the body of like a man who, enjoys a fine cheese and spends most of his time indoors. But at a certain point, when he realized that morning is approaching, he like gets up and has a nice bath and like puts on a very nice suit and like makes sure he's even though he's wasn't well rested, is still looking good. And puts a note on the door of the boutique that it'll be closed for the day. I think when when the driver arrives, he's probably mostly trying to be ready, if not well rested there. I've probably does not ask the driver's name, but offers him a cigarette from a very nice case. I think also he's got a deck of tarot cards that he's like shuffling on the way there, and pulls a card for the day. And looks this as Two of Wands, and just sort of nods to himself on the way to the party here.
Not me frantically Googling what Two of Wands means so I can pull that into the story later.
No, because I'm literally doing that right now. What's the significance? What's the significance?
Well, Augustine, would you be able to enlighten us on that?
Yeah, I think he sort of is thinking to himself, on it's like, Two of Wands. Well, probably a party or a big road, or a division of roads out between us here. He, I think, is concerned about because he's going to see Vincent because he's got some, I think, like old copper tablets that are tied up in customs, but he's already spent the money for the paint that he's like been paid for those, and so he's going to him to try and like get them into the country there, and is a little bit nervous about this business dealing. So, not particularly auspicious. It could go very well or very badly.
Gotcha. Understood. Interesting. Okay. And what it would be a fear of Augustine's?
I think he's very superstitious about mirrors. I think he was raised in a like sort of very stitious old world house, and so like he has mirrors in his house, but they're always like kept covered because you don't want any sort of spirits coming in your house that way.
Okay. Very interesting. Go ahead and make me, please. Let me see here. How do I want to phrase that? Let's do, actually, you know what? You put a lot of effort into your looks. We're going to make an appearance check. And I'm going to say you can roll this with a bonus die.
Okay.
So what that is you roll an additional D10 for like the 10 spot and take whatever's better. So in
And
this
is
case,
that the
lower.
die with 2 on the numbers?
Two numbers.
Or 2 numbers on it? Okay, in the tens.
Correct.
Okay. Oh, neither of those are very good. The lowest is an 83.
Okay. So you know
Versus.
how to maintain your outward appearance. As you said, you had a restless night, and you did try to make it look like you didn't. Your clothes are immaculate. Outfit on fleek or whatever. Or it's all razzle dazzle because it's the 20s. However, as you were like taking a bath and refreshing, you missed a little bit on your face, and like your eyes do look a little tired. As you may notice later, much to your chagrin, you were not able to complete the facade. Outfit, great. Hair, on point. Eyes just look a little tired.
Gotcha.
Toby, your day also starts a little bit differently as you are not getting picked up for this party. You are driving the party host. How would your day start before you head to Vincent's for work?
Toby would have had a late night the night before. He is currently moonlighting with a gang that he's trying to leave. The ran by a guy named Francisco, and he is trying to get out of this gang because he believes, and they haven't confirmed it yet, because apparently medical science didn't allow people to confirm things back then. But he does not know yet if his girl is pregnant, but he suspects she is. And she has essentially garnered this fatherly spirit. And she's like, I can't have my kid in danger. And so he's trying to get out of, but he's basically being forced to moonlight with this gang still. So his morning, he would have gotten in probably like 1 o'clock, 2 o'clock in the morning, tried to sleep, and he's having nightmares. Just people calling for him, people yelling for him. He's not sure. Everything feels like he's drowning. It feels like he's underwater. He can't hear people. He can't reach the people he needs to help. Which, by the way, he's afraid of drowning. But he awakes with a start in the morning. It's you said that the party starts early in the day.
There is a drive to the party, so that's what takes most of the morning. It's about a 2-hour drive for everybody, dotted around the landscapes as you are. But the plans are that everybody arrives at the same time, which will be 11:30.
Okay, so he gets up and it's around, I'll say 8 o'clock in the morning, and he looks around and he pulls out his pocket watch, checks the time, makes sure he's still good.
Is that prop coming in?
Yep, gotta use it. He goes to his kitchen and he puts in a piece of toast, which, if you want some nightmare fuel, look up what toasters look like in the 1920s. Terrifying, but they did exist. Starts making himself a piece of toast, and he starts thinking about just his day, how he has to go and drive, and he sees a note on his kitchen table. He's in a real small apartment. It's basically a bedroom, bathroom, and a living room, dining room hybrid. So it's very small. Lots of lots of noise, lots of ambient noise. People slamming on doors outside. Like you don't get privacy in this neighborhood where he's. But he sees a note on the table, and he goes and he opens it, and it's a note from Alice, his lady, and it says, "I'm going to go to my mom's because I have a doctor's appointment, and I think I'm going to stay over there. Those guys were back last night, banging on the door after you left. I don't feel safe here anymore." And then Alice. So he slides the note back down, and he'll get himself dressed. His clothing is not the best. He's definitely got like secondhand out attire. He tries his best to look good, but it's clear that he's definitely been on the rundown for a bit. But he shaves his face, makes himself look as professional as possible, and then he goes and grabs the car and heads out to pick up Vincent.
Okay. As you're making your way through traffic to Vincent's estate to pick him up to go to the party, your mind starts to drift a little bit. You're thinking about trying to get out of this situation that you're in. You're worried about your girl. You're worried about possibly having a child on the way. How are you going to handle this situation? This is a lot for anybody. Like you said, you live in a very small apartment. It's very loud. There's no privacy. Rents, $2,000 a month in those times. So $1 jillion now. But your mind does start to drift a little bit into how you could possibly figure this situation out. Go ahead and make me a sanity check, please.
$17.
Okay, that is also a very good success. You have a brief moment of panic, but being behind the wheel, it's not just a job for you, it's something you like doing. You've been doing it for a while, and it kind of calms you. The hum of the engine, the bumps you've become familiar with on this pretty standard route to Vincent you've driven dozens and dozens of times already. You know which potholes you can swerve to avoid, which ones you have to slow down and just take, and you feel your heart beat slow down as you think of what the future might look like for you in this situation. As you pull up to Vincent's estate, the night watch opens the gate, recognizes you, lets you in without any sort of question. You pull around to the front, and Vincent is already there waiting on his porch. He's currently seated, finishing up a cup of coffee. As he stands up, Vincent is honestly, a rather short man. He's only about 5'5". He's not physically imposing at all. Very slender build. If he had different clothes, a lot of people would probably think he's even malnourished with how skinny he is. He is very well maintained. Kind of the opposite of you. All of his clothes are fresh off the rack, tailor fit, custom made. They are tailored in such a way to make him appear to be taller. Long seams on the pants, a lot of vertical lines. He cares a lot about his appearance, as that is something very important to his business. The way somebody looks, is how somebody treats you, is how he views it. But he stands up. You see he's freshly shaven. His hair is swept off to the side, and not pomade, because I don't think they had that back then, but like it's gelled down. His hair is dealt up. As he sees you approach, folds a newspaper, places on the table, and starts to descend the steps. And he doesn't even wait for you to like fully stop the car. As soon as it's in front of him, he opens the door and hops in.
I opened my car because I was going to get out and run around and open the door for him. Like, Vince, you got to wait. I'm supposed to open the door for you, man. Okay. Just get right back in.
Toby, we don't have time today. We got to get going.
All right. Is there a reason for the rush today? No, put it in gear and start heading out.
I just want to make sure that we're there before the rest of the guests arrive. Party's supposed to be starting at 11:30. I want to make sure I get there early and that everything is ready to go when they arrive.
That's fair. I'll make sure we get there. No. I'll speed off. I'll do what the equivalent of speeding was back then.
30. I don't know how
Yeah.
fast cars went. Before we get out of the city, I'd like to stop and get the new newspaper, if that's all right.
Absolutely. Whatever you need.
All right. You pull up to the little newspaper seller. Vincent hands you a couple coins over your shoulder for you to hop out and grab him paper.
I hop out, and I'm assuming it's like just a little kiosk or something.
It's just like a guy there, yeah. Little side newsstand thing.
Like, hey, Chief, one paper. Drop the coins on his I guess his desk. Whatever he's got.
Yeah, like
there.
a little counter there.
Yeah.
All right, here's the fresh edition. And you can see, like, it's fresh, like, it literally, like, the truck that dropped the papers off is just starting to pull away from the newsstand. So it's the first paper. Hands it to you?
Take it. I'll look at the front page as I'm walking back to the car.
The front page is a editorial about how the sinking of the Titanic was a bigger deal than everybody made it out to be, and we should still be looking at why it sank. As you read that headline,
All right.
give me a history check.
Oh, this is not going to go well. That's a 42. I have nothing in history, so that's a 5.
Okay.
Like, I don't think I get it.
Yeah. So the Titanic was a huge deal, so you know what it is. As far as details, you've heard estimates of people dying from 5 people to the entire crew. But it's, it happened. It's sad. It sucks. It has nothing to do with you. You haven't really done any more research into it.
Toby's definitely like a bunch of idiots going out on a boat. I mean, I feel bad for him, but it's definitely not my thing. I don't want to know more about that.
Yeah, exactly. It doesn't affect you in your day-to-day life. That sucks, but we're going to move on. So yeah, like you read the newspaper. All right, whatever. Hop back in the car and hand out the paper to Vincent. I am now going to abandon that Irish accent. That was a choice I made, and I regretted it immediately. So we're just going to carry on from there.
Glorious.
Let's see how long.
How
I can
much
keep the pirate
fixing
one
in
up.
post can be done?
Commit. Don't leave it. Commit.
Vincent takes the newspaper and starts reading the headlines.
There you go, sir.
Thank you, Toby.
Start back now.
Give me a spot hidden check as you start to drive out again.
Uh, 58. So I don't get it.
Okay, yeah, so that would be a failure.
Mm.
This is not something that I'm saying to influence you, just so that everybody is aware. You do all have luck points you can spend to make failed successes into successful successes.
And that's like a limited supply, so once you've used your luck, it's gone.
Correct, yeah. There are rules to regain luck during like a campaign, but those wouldn't be in today since it's just the one shot.
Okay, and what was the number?
You just need to get down to your success, which is a 50, and you rolled a 58, so you'd have to spend 8 luck points. If you want to get it. Like I said, that's not meant to pressure you in any way.
Full sending. Let's do it.
All right, we're going to use those luck points. Pardon me. There is also pushing the roll, which is you roll again, but if you fail on that roll, there will be consequences, and I will allude to what those consequences might be before you decide to push the roll. That's going to be contextual, and it's just going to happen in that situation.
Okay.
But spending luck points, there's no negative to it. As Vincent glosses over the headline, he reads the headline, opens the page, stops, goes back to the headline, reads it again, and you see he flips through to that section. And he's very strict on his paper consumption. He goes start to finish. But he jumps about 3/4 of the way through towards the back end of this newspaper to read the article that the headline mentioned.
Yeah, how about that Titanic? You into boats, sir?
Well, a lot of my supplies come in by boat, and while we didn't have a lot of stock on the Titanic, that was a little bit of a hit to our enterprise. So I'm just making sure that boats in general are on the up and up, and there's nothing further to worry about. That's all. How was your day, Toby?
It was good. Didn't get in until very late last night. And my girl's out visiting her mom right now. But to be honest with you, sir, I think I might be a dad. Kind of not used to this. Don't know what to do. So I'm just trying to go through my day, and I'm excited to take you to your next party, and hoping that I don't have to work tonight.
Well, I typically let you off pretty early in the afternoon. Why were you... Well, first off, congratulations.
Yeah, thank you. I'm freaking out a little.
I'm sure. I know of children. That's the end of his statement. He is not like a family person at all. So getting the congratulations is probably more than you expected from him in this interaction. But yeah, I typically let you off in the afternoon. Why were you home so late?
Oh, well, I think I've talked to you about Francisco before, but he's essentially coming to me randomly late at night and having me help him with his jobs, and he's threatening to harm me or hurt my gal, and I don't really have a way to fight him, so I just help him with his jobs, and I don't get home till late sometimes. Haven't gotten in any big trouble yet, but you never know what's going to happen.
Well, Toby, I'm very sorry to hear that. I can't protect you if something happens when you're not in my employ.
Yeah, and I would never ask you to do anything. It's my business. I shouldn't even be telling you.
Your business becomes my business if it affects me in some way. Why don't you... You said your girl's going to visit her mother?
Yeah, she's going to be up there for a bit. I don't even know how long.
How about instead of making this a round trip, you come with us this weekend? Take some time off, think about the situation with your girl, and maybe we can come up with some solution for Francisco. I would like to formally extend an invitation for you to join my party this weekend.
Oh, well, ain't that swell, sir? Yeah, I'll come. That sounds great. I'm wearing my best suit already, so we're ready to go.
Glad to hear it. Let's go on then. You guys make your way through traffic. As I said, for everybody, it's a few hour drive. As you're making your way out of the city, you see less and less buildings, and it becomes like there's a little bit of like country, and then just becomes open plains as you are making your way north up the coast. The drive is long and boring. There's not a lot in the way of entertainment, but you just kind of hang out in the back of this car. As you start to wend your way up this path, you start heading more towards the ocean. And there's a large iron gate that is currently open. You all start to arrive one at a time. Vincent and Toby would arrive about a half hour beforehand. But as you guys start to arrive, you drive through these gates and start approaching not an exorbitantly large mansion, but definitely bigger than any place you guys have lived in. There's two almost like castle towers on either side of the front, large wooden doors for the main entrance, but it's very sparsely decorated. If any of you had been to any fancier parties or mansions, there's normally like topiary bushes, maybe a couple statues out front. This is very minimal. It's basically the driveway goes up to the house. As you're approaching the house, you do notice a stone bridge. As you go over the bridge, you take a quick look to the left and right, and this whole section of land that the house is on is disconnected. I don't use the term island because it's not that big, but like the only physical way to get to this island is on this bridge you just took. So you couldn't like run through the woods or anything. That is for privacy. As you cross over the bridge, there is a gate on the house side of the bridge that closes behind you. But you look out and you're probably a stone's throw from the ocean. The salty air starts to like, not splashing into your face because you're not that close, but you can smell the salty air. There's like the warm currents coming off the ocean. It is a little cooler here though, being outside the city, the wind sweeping around you. As you start to arrive, you're all dropped off one at a time. Vincent and Toby do arrive first. He has you park the car around the side. You guys start to head in. He directs you to the service entrance for now, which is around the back of the house. There's a small door that's unlocked that leads you into like a laundry area that connects to a kitchen. There are a couple of chefs preparing food, but it looks like they're just about done. Vincent heads inside to places unknown. You guys split off as you arrive. Everybody starts to arrive at the same time, and as the first car pulls up, Vincent does come out to greet all of his guests as they start to arrive. We are going to trying to see who would arrive first. Lizzie, are you making any attempt to hide your motorcycle on the other side of the bridge and then just like sneak over, or how are you trying to get to the house without being noticed?
I'm trying to decide. I think that she feels brazen enough to just take her motorcycle across the bridge and just make her presence known to Vincent. She feels like she has enough leverage on him that she'll be fine.
Okay. So you guys arrive by car, and a motorcycle rumbles up behind you as you start to exit, and you all maybe have not physically met this person before, but by description and that's the word, thank you, reputation, you know this to be Vincent. Toby, you would be up on the steps with him, probably a little bit further back because I believe you are taller than him, and that is a big deal to him. But as everybody approaches and starts the chauffeurs...
My size is 40. Just want to make sure.
Well, he's 5'6", so I don't know how size translates directly to height. It's kind of like a vertical and horizontal number.
See, I was thinking Toby was more like 5'2", like a shorter guy, like short king kind of style.
Okay. What's your size?
40.
40.
I'm also
Well, AB
40,
size 70,
and
so...
I was also picturing myself. I was also putting myself as on the shorter end.
Okay, yeah, you guys are around like the 5 to 5.5 feet. Okay,
Nice.
So he's about an inch taller than you.
Short kings.
Short kings. And then Harrow is size 70, which could be anywhere from 5'7". That's 70.
A big lad.
Seems
I guess
short.
people are just short in the Call of Cthulhuverse.
Yeah, I think August is also on the shorter side, just portly at a 60.
Okay.
In fairness, when you're above like 6 feet, you're already in like the 15% of the population.
Yeah, that's true.
I think Harrow's size.
But yeah, you
comes
guys
from
start
his
to
bulk and
arrive.
his height. Sorry.
No,
I think Harrow's size comes from both his height and also his bulk, as like he's physical work all day, so he's in shape.
Yeah, absolutely. You guys start to arrive. Your chauffeurs jump out and open your doors. and you see Vincent at the top of the stairs with Toby right behind him. Welcome, my friends, welcome. Please come on in. I know you all have many questions, I'm sure, but that's for a bit later in the day. For right now, why don't we all come inside, have a drink, and get to know each other a little bit. Please come in. Miss Lake. Pleasure to see you. Would you care to join us?
How do you do? Certainly, yes. Thanks for the invite.
Everybody give me... Of course, Miss Lake. My doors are always open to our esteemed reporters. Please come in. Everybody give me a... Give me a psychology check. I know that's not a great skill for anybody.
Nope.
All right.
67.
So I rolled an 11. I'm going to spend a luck point and get a 10.
Okay.
Voice.
That's a 78. That's not happening.
Got a 34, so that's a regular success.
Okay.
I got a 39, which is under 50, but not under half.
I'm trying to think
Do
if
we
there's
need to be
something...
under half right now?
No. Regular success would just be that first number.
Cool.
Yeah, if you
Yeah.
beat the number, it's regular. If you're under half the number, it's a big success.
Oh,
Yeah.
I gotcha. I see.
So would you roll, Katie?
39.
Okay, so that's a regular success for you. So success for you, Toby burned some luck, and then Augustine also had a success?
No,
That was it, just those three?
I succeeded.
no, I didn't
I
succeed.
got
Oh, okay.
Listen,
Okay, Miss
yeah.
Lake did. Okay.
yeah, and I got an 80 over 50. So
Okay. Percival, Augustine, Harrow, you're just excited to be here. You're like, okay, let's figure out what's going on. We have some things to talk about. I'm excited to meet new people.
I spent that 2-hour drive talking to the driver one-sidedly, and I'm just still continuing that conversation with just the next person I saw.
Harrow is not someone that's
Okay.
been to a place like this.
You just
before,
latch on to
so
the next person.
Yeah.
He's looking around like,
August was sleeping those 2
Wonderful
hours,
house.
so
That makes sense. Toby, Katie, and Lizzie, it's very clear that Vincent was not happy to see Lizzie, but he was also not surprised. And that becomes apparent in a few moments as he says that everybody, including you, Miss Lake, have rooms prepared for you upstairs, which I will show you to shortly. But for now, let's head to the dining hall and have some refreshments. And he turns around and starts to head into the house. Large cherry doors that open in as he walks into a large hallway. Very well maintained, like looks like everything was just polished and cleaned probably this morning. Large paintings hanging on the wall. There are some like palm trees in the corners and stuff. Large wooden tables off to the desks off to the side. There's rooms to the left and right, but he's directing you further down the hallway, and there is a large staircase that he walks past that would lead up to the second floor. As he makes his way through the hall, you see another large set of double doors that he opens into a large dining hall. You see a long table, probably about 20 chairs spread out across it, 10 on each side. The hallway had very tall, 15-foot ceilings. As you make your way to this dining area, those walls give way to, it's just glass along the whole east side facing the ocean, floor to ceiling, and then on what would be the south side, so in to the right, also glass, as you can see down the coast. To the left, there is a small set of service doors, and you can hear like kitchen staff preparing stuff in there. Vincent walks around. He takes what seems to be a random seat. He says, "Please sit as you would like to, and we will have some drinks and refreshments."
Thank you so much.
Absolutely. I'm excited for the weekend.
Thank you, Mr. Costa.
As you guys start to sit down, there's a clattering from the kitchen, and he like glares at it and excuses himself, and he heads into the kitchen. And you hear some stuff being shuffled around hurriedly and some hushed whispers. If anybody would like to give me a listen check to try and eavesdrop, you can do so now.
I think Harrow doesn't listen because he's more focused on this big window pointing out to the sea.
Okay.
And Percival's trying to talk to Harrow, but Harrow's not listening.
Okay.
What would happen if I
You
pushed
have to understand.
the roll? If I like tried to get up and get closer and listen.
So in this instance, if you try to push the roll, I'll say, yeah, you like actually get up and head towards the doors. On a pushed roll, if you succeed, there's no negative consequences. But if you fail again, then you would be discovered eavesdropping.
I would also like to point out that with my psychology check earlier, I'm definitely keeping an eye on Lizzie because I can tell that, my boss doesn't like the fact that Lizzie's here. So I'm just kind of like, I would have sat in between Vince and Lizzie when he was sitting, things like that. So,
Okay.
And Toby got a 49.
Was that a success?
That is barely a success, but a success.
Barely success counts. Are you pushing the roll?
No, I think she's gonna play it safe for this one.
Okay. So the only success then was Toby? Okay. Toby, you're able to make out a couple of words. Vincent is trying to get everything ready because the staff is planning to leave within the next 15 minutes or so. The party is very private. It's going to be you, Vincent, and these guests. They're preparing like shelf-safe food and drinks for the whole weekend. But you do also hear that there's like a large selection of clothing for you guys as well. Obviously nobody has like exact measurements, but there's a wide variety of clothes for you all to choose from for the other days.
Toby feels immensely relieved because his complete panic the entire drive there was, I have no clothes. This is the only thing I've got, and he wants me to stay all weekend. Oh,
yeah.
No.
But Vincent does not return for a few moments, so you guys are able to talk amongst yourselves if you would like to introduce each other and talk. Or you can sit there in awkward silence. That's also a choice.
Well, Percival's immediately talking up and has not stopped talking the whole time. Is just constantly just saying anything that comes to mind. Love your hat, love your shoes, love your vest. But the whole time, just talking and talking and talking. And just, whatever comes to mind. Maybe might have heard something. It's like, did you know? I'm pretty sure, guys. I haven't been able to confirm this. The alcohol, I'm pretty sure, affects pregnant women and affects the little baby inside. But no one really wants to listen to me about that. But I don't know. Feels like it makes sense to me. You eat and it goes to the child. I don't think children should be drinking alcohol. But whatever. I'm just gonna keep going. So if anyone wants to intercede, just intercede.
You're a pioneer.
Just nervous, chattering energy.
Yeah, truly. It's just, I feel like that's what we should be doing. And, alcohol, it's not that bad for other things. I've been trying this weird powdery stuff called cocaine. They say they shouldn't give that to children either. But I've been mixing that in with some of my alcohol. And it's weird because it's like the cocaine wants to wake you up, but the alcohol wants to put me to sleep. And it's just, I'm not sure.
They say there's a lot of medicinal uses for that. Yeah.
Yeah,
Are you inventing Four Loko right now?
I'm evolving.
Not a sponsor.
Coca-Cola from what it was into what it could be.
Okay. Percival, you brought a little bit of your supply. Are you like offering it to anybody? You guys do see, by the way, contrary to laws at the time, there is a decent sized bar on the one wall. There are a couple of glass decanters full of various, mostly amber liquids, but there are a couple of like red, like like the big cool like wide wine decanter with the narrow neck. That was an image I made. So you guys are free to drink what you would like. Like I said, Percival, if you'd like to share, you can definitely offer somebody your batch.
I think Harrow's eyes drift away from the sea and goes to the bar. He goes, "Ah, a drink, finally! Not one person in this place has offered me one. It's as if it's illegal or something."
How long you been at sea, son?
Years and years. I'm a man of the sea, you see.
It's been illegal for a year or two now.
Illegal? Alcohol?
You haven't heard of that prohibition that the government's been doing?
Ah,
Yeah.
America.
Government thinks they're all pure and stuff, but it ain't really working out. If anything, I'm thinking it's creating a whole new wave of crime, but I'm not really too sure about that. I just see a lot of movements happening where I live, and it's just a little weird now. It's a lot more like money's coming in, but it's clearly not coming to me. So this is just feeling a little weird over here.
Well, I don't spend much time in one single place, you see, so not my area of expertise. I'm a fisherman by trade, you see. The name's Harrow. Harrow Gapstead. Captain Harrow, for being formal about it.
Percival Blakely. I guess Lieutenant Colonel Percival Blakely, if we want to go for old titles that don't mean much.
Pleasure to make your acquaintance. And he extends out a slightly damp hand to shake.
And Percival, without reacting to that, shakes like this is old, like this is normal.
He shakes hard and then steps up from his seat and goes and has a look at the bar.
I'll match that strength.
Are we trying to one up each other here?
Are we? I'm matching. Percival's matching. Percival's trying to match.
Okay.
So, what is my strength? What is the match? I have a 70.
That's
Ooh,
pretty strong.
60.
Ooh. So yeah, I match.
Okay. I was gonna say we could roll for it, but if you just want to match, then that's fine. We don't need to contest any rolls.
Respectful match.
A respectful match, exactly.
Now, what about the rest of you? What are your names?
I want to say that Katie is hanging around Lizzie, mainly.
Okay.
Just to see what she's doing. As Katie is trying to also like learn the ropes of how to be a reportive journalist, and looks up to Lizzie since she's been doing it for longer. So she's going to be just standing near Lizzie during this.
You guys went to the bar? You walked over to the bar? Harrow and Percival. Yeah, I think Lizzie will head over with you guys and say, hello, I'm Lizzie Lake. I'm a reporter. How do you do?
Quite pleasantly, my lass. The name be Harrow.
What?
Harrow
Yeah,
and
Percival's my name.
Percival. Yes.
Good old... Yeah, it's Percival.
You
He sends the
had
same
some
wet hands
right.
to shake.
drink, yes?
Well, there's these lovely alcohols here, but if you're looking to be a little adventurous, well, let me just tell you, I got this whole recipe, and I opened my notebook looking for the recipe, and I realized I can't read my own handwriting. It gets progressively worse throughout the day, and as I was making this hooch and testing it and testing it and testing it, the recipe got progressively more and more chicken scratch, and I just eyeball it and like, well, it's a family recipe, you understand. I can't just divulge this I have to keep it too close to the chest, if you don't mind. But, and I'll pour a shot and immediately just shove it into Lizzie's face, just like, here.
All right. Sure. What are we toasting to?
New adventures.
A glass for me too, I should request.
Katie, do you want some?
Oh, of course. I pour another one and give it to Hera.
Sure. I'll have some since you're having some. Yeah.
Pouring one. What about you two fellas?
Absolutely. August offers forward his coffee cup, says, if we're sampling the private stock here.
All right, I pour a little shot worth for them. And...
Toby will approach. He feels very out of sorts. Like, he's definitely not the kind of crowd that he's used to rolling with, but he'll be like, oh, yeah, absolutely. I'd love a taste.
Oh, and then to be uncomfortable here, once we share a drink, we're practically family. So, here, have a drink. And I know in some cultures, you share a drink, you are family. So, trust me, we're family now. And toast to family and new adventures.
The family.
To family and being adventurous.
Percival's gonna wait for everyone else's reaction.
All right, in that case, Percival, everybody needs to make me a Constitution check. Percival, I need a spot hidden check from you, please.
Ooh, perfect.
Constitution check.
Fail.
Wow. That is
This game hard.
a 7 under 25.
Holy crap!
I actually rolled.
So you're saying low rolls are what are important here?
Yes.
It's my first nat 100, and I can't use
no.
Push.
It's 100% bad.
I got under half. I got a 24. Under under 32.
What happens if I push? What are the consequences?
So,
Likewise.
if you push the, you know what? If you push, it's going to hurt more than it already is. As much as I want to see you guys push the roll, you already failed, so you're taking negative consequences already because you're ingesting something. So if you push and fail again, it's going to be worse than what it's already going to be.
But I've got a high con.
You could push and succeed.
I'm going to push and succeed, hopefully. Let's see how this goes.
Push it. Push the roll. Wait. I have a sticker.
That is exactly it. That is exactly. That is 55 equal 55.
Nice.
All right, so you succeed. You pushed and
No.
succeeded. Okay.
I'll push it. 39.
Okay, that's also success then.
I'm
I
gonna say-
that
actually
becomes-
succeeded because... Oh, sorry.
I was gonna say I'm gonna spend 4 luck to succeed the roll.
Okay.
I actually
Lizzie?
succeeded because I'm reading my dice correctly, and it's a 46, not a 64. So I'm good.
Okay. So everybody
Sorry.
succeeds then. We push some rolls, we spend some luck, but everybody succeeds.
Yeah.
Okay.
After seeing everyone, I would take the drink, and I rolled a 34 under 75. So.
Okay. And what was your spot hidden, Percival?
It was a 7 under 25.
Oh, that's right. Do you want to spend a luck point? Oh wait, I'm looking at a luck point to make that an extreme success.
Let's see. You took 20 at the start, leaving me with 25. You know what? Let's do it.
Okay. That pushes it from a hard success to an extreme success. So you see, out of just pure luck, there's quite a widespread demographic in front of you. You have a couple of young people, you have some older people, you have middle-aged people. So this is like a perfect testing ground for this batch that you've been making. You make some assumptions about people on how much they might consume. So you're like, oh, this person probably knows good and bad alcohol. This one probably doesn't. As you're looking at these faces, it's all very much the same face. I just bit into like a lemon mixed with an onion, and it's just like a drink, and then you feel that this batch will be highly aggressive, possibly fatal, but you could sell it for quite a bit of coin. And then everybody that drank, which is now everybody because Percival said he also had a drink, you all do take 1 point of damage.
The people who did drink.
Yes. Which is everybody.
Ooh, that's the stuff. Oof.
That burns. Well.
Don't worry. I know hit points are not a thing in this game, so I'm not going to make you take damage every time you drink something, but because that was Percival's special hidden batch.
How about another round?
I'm good. Burns the throat a little.
Yeah, it does wake you up,
that's some
though.
strong
Thank you.
stuff, for sure.
It's memorable, and that's important. You don't want to leave any situation without being remembered. You want to be remembered in every situation. So, look at all y'all's faces. You're going to remember this for years to come. And, family. That's how family is. We got to remember these times, these moments. They're special.
At the end of this special moment, Vincent comes in, and Toby, you would know this especially. He's always very well maintained physically. Like appearance-wise. But like his tie is a little loose, his clothes are a little shifted in a weird way, and he looks just a little bit frazzled.
Mr. LaCosta, have a drink.
Yeah, I'll immediately approach him and try to block and see if I can I help you with your tie, sir?
You go over, you straighten his tie a little bit, and, he takes a brief moment now that you pointed out, and fixes his vest, smooths his hair over.
I'm coming over with a shot.
He takes it from you, but he's just holding it for right now. I do apologize. I need to take care of some things in the kitchen. How about I show you to your rooms? You guys can all take a brief respite up there, and I will call you all down for proper refreshments in about a half hour or so.
Is there anything I can
you
help
are
with?
free. No, Toby, you're off the clock this week, and I appreciate it, though.
All right.
You are free to explore the house and the grounds. There's a library on the first floor. There's a more stocked drinks parlor as well. The only thing I ask is that you don't go into my bedroom upstairs. Follow me, please. And he leads you back up into the hallway, up those stairs, and the stairs go up to there's a wide open, a communal area, lush carpet, and there's rooms off to the west and east side, front and back of the house. He starts pointing around to various rooms, and there's a small placard next to each door. Everybody has one with their name, including the surprising appearance of Miss Lake. So at the top of the stairs, directly to the left, is Toby's room. That one is not assigned as he invited you this morning, but that's where he directs you. Right next to that is Katie's room. So these are both on the back of the house. Next to that is Augustine's room. Toby and Katie, your rooms are fairly the same size, and they're both furnished well. Nice comfy bed, big wardrobes inside, a sitting chair and desk. Augustine, your room is quite a little more extravagant. There are a couple of fancy houseplants in there as well. And while Toby and Katie did have windows to the back of the house, you have large bay windows that swing out to open up towards the ocean. In the back corner of the house, which would be over the dining room, there's an outdoor balcony that has glass around it and then a glass door. And there's benches out there and some plants on the balcony as well. Elizabeth, your room, he indicates your room is right next to his room, which his room is in the front. As you're looking at the house, his room's in the front right corner. Your room is next to that. And then towards the front of the house, Harrow, your room is the front left of the house. There's a washroom next to your room, and then Percival's room is next to that. Your rooms are also not on the smaller side. This is probably the biggest room you've ever slept in. But they're similar to Toby and Katie's room. Augustine and Harrow. When you guys, and this is something that I missed previously, when you guys arrived, did you make any notion or mention of knowing each other previously? Or have you been playing that off as we don't know each other?
I think...
Oh, sorry.
No, you can go on.
Oh, I would say I probably would have, greeted him. I'd forgotten, that we'd worked together in the past,
Yeah.
But yeah, definitely. Unless you wanted to keep it secret.
No, that's up to you. That's your guys' relationship. Is your guys' relationship.
I think Harrow wasn't going to say anything, but as Augustine comes over to greet him, he's jovial. He's happy to see him, and then as they're greeting each other, leans in, and in a much more serious whisper, "Meet me alone."
He just sort of solemnly nods, and then kind of picks up with happier conversation.
Yeah, and then I think later on, as
Okay.
they go into the rooms, Harrow tries to pull him aside.
Okay. Are you waiting until Vincent has like shown everybody around and has gone back downstairs? Okay. So everybody breaks off into their rooms. Hera, are you going to head over to Augustine's room, or are you going to try and get him to come to your room?
I'm going to, having put what little I brought with me in my room, I'm going to come over and find Augustine, I think. Knock on his door.
Being next to Harrow's room, is there a chance I notice anything?
There is a room between you have the washroom between your room, but you can go ahead and are you trying to be like sneaky about this, Harrow, or okay? Go ahead and roll me stealth. And Percival, since you're like you said, you're right next to his room, you can go ahead and give me a spot hidden.
And there's a very good chance I would be visiting with Katie, because I know Katie was right next door to Augustine. So I'm just curious if we would hear anything.
We will see how their conversation rolls out, and you guys might make listen checks.
That's 39 over 20, so that's a failure.
That's a 99. I'm excited to be in a room bigger than my own apartment, and I'm just caught up in that.
So on both failures, I will say that you do make a bit of noise, Harrow, but like Percival said, he's distracted.
I'll just be like, you all right out there?
Fine, perfectly fine.
Sounds good.
Okay.
Oh, sweet. There's not even a sink in here.
You look at the washroom, and that washroom itself is also bigger than your apartment.
Dang, I can make so much in here.
So yeah, Harrow, you head across the upper hallway area to Augustine's room.
Yeah, I knock on the door and wait for him to open. I'm like looking around to make sure no one's coming as I wait for him to open the door.
When he opens the door, he's got like several shirts draped over an arm, and when it opens, you can see he's like in the middle of unpacking the steamer trunk and just like immediately settling in. It's like, oh, afternoon, step on in. Just we just take a step back and try not to drip on anything.
Right. He steps in and is like sort of avoiding anything that's hanging up with his damp attire. Waits for Augustine to close the door. And then lowers his voice to a whisper. You sold it? Or do you have it?
Oh, no, I've already moved that one a couple weeks ago.
Where?
There's a gentleman came in by what was his last name? Jeffries? Yeah, he paid well for it.
You know where he went? Anything? And you notice as he's questioning you, his he's got an eye patch over one eye, but even the other eye is a little bloodshot. It's twitchy. He looks in worse shape than the last time you saw him. He seems tired, as if he hasn't slept.
Yeah, he said he was headed out west. You're not needing to track it back down, are you?
You could say that.
Well, I suppose there's a long train ride in your future, but I could maybe get you an address for a price.
That would be appreciated. And quietly, please.
Absolutely.
And
don't suppose I could interest you in perhaps a different cursed object. We've got a selection.
Keep your wares away from me, son. I don't want to see any more of them.
All right. Not a real interest in shipping a bottle. And he just like starts putting things away.
And he leaves the room without another word.
Okay. Hero, as you're making your way back to your room, you pass by the staircase heading down. Go ahead and make me a sanity check, please.
That's 39 under 50. So
Okay. You hear that voice again, whispering into the back of your mind. I'm here. Come find me.
does he hear it from any particular direction?
Not. You know what? That was that was just a regular success. On a regular success, I would say no, you don't hear a particular direction, but the voice is louder than it has been in quite some time. And even on that success, you are still going to lose 2 points of sanity. And you head back to your room. Let's see here. Percival, as you are becoming acquainted with your room, you're looking around. Do you have any intention of, like, you've got your, what you consider your best dress on? Vincent did mention that everybody has wardrobes. They can change how they like. If they find something that they would like to wear. Are you going to start looking through your wardrobe at all?
He went and bought these clothes spatial, and he's just feeling very nice and loving himself. But so he's going to completely ignore any clothing suggestions because he thinks he's well dressed. But he's very much wearing an outfit of someone who's never been taught how to dress in his life. He bought fancy clothes with high price tags for his budget and assumed that's just how it works and put it on. So
Okay.
I'm committed to my clothing. Still got my mask.
Fantastic. Lizzie, how are you settling into your room? Are you, like, you spent most of the night awake, not stalking, staking out, that's the word. I couldn't think of the word staking out.
Yeah.
Staking out Katie. So, like, you also did not have a good night's sleep. It is kind of stalking, yeah. Is there anything you would like to do in your room about, like, settling in, trying to find, like, a fresher outfit? There's a washroom you can use as well. But is there anything you would like to do in your room?
Yeah, I think she looks through, like, the closet to see what kind of clothes have been laid out. She's, like, confused that there's stuff for her, but also, like, it makes sense. Like, Vincent knows her, so but yeah, she'll find some fresh clothes and probably just freshen up. I think she wants to go find Katie, but in a little bit.
Okay. As you're rifling through this wardrobe, you start looking through, like, oh, this is a man's suit. This is a dress that's for, like, an older lady. This isn't my style. You start finding a couple things out of your size. And as you're rifling through this wardrobe, you're like, oh man, there's so many clothes in here. And then you keep rifling through, like, there's too many clothes in here. And you start, like you pull out a sleeve of something, and as you're, like, pulling your hand down the sleeve, you get to the end of the sleeve, and a hand reaches out and grabs yours. I need you to make a sanity check, please.
I think I'm gonna use some more luck because I'm only 3 over. Yeah.
I don't believe you can use luck on
No
a
luck
sanity
on
check.
So that's a failure then.
Let me double check that. I'm
Sure.
pretty sure
That makes sense.
luck points cannot be spent on luck rolls, adjusting damage, altering the result and outcome of a push roll, or sanity rolls.
Okay,
Yes.
That's a failure.
You can. Yeah. So that is a failure. As you're checking out this wardrobe, you reach down and a hand, like I said, jumps out of the sleeve and grasps yours tightly, and it's just pale and cold and clammy, and it grabs onto your hand so tight. You try to pull your hand back, but it's like it's trying to pull you into the wardrobe. Go ahead and give me a strength check.
Okay. Ooh, nice. That's a good roll. That's a hard success with an 11.
Okay. You do take 2 sanity points from the hand grabbing you, but as an 11, yeah, that's a very good or hard success. Yeah. You lean into the clamminess and the moisture on this hand, and you just kind of like start to spin your hand, and that breaks enough of the tension. You're able to pull your hand out, and then as you go to grab the outfit to see who's in there, you just pull out an empty suit coat.
She definitely screams when the hand grabs her, and I think that anyone who's close by or their rooms are close by hears her scream.
I would say Percival and Augustine would probably hear that just hearing. Anybody else can make a listen check to try and hear that as well.
Percival comes running as soon as he hears a scream.
Okay.
I think Harrow's on edge anyway and listening to things, so he'll have his ears out.
I'll also run out, but probably not quickly.
Okay. So a 5 for Katie is
I got a 5.
Extreme success.
Toby fails, 85.
Okay. Toby, it's kind of the same situation Percival. You're like, this room is incredible. This is much better than my whole apartment.
I'm like flailing through the clothing. Like, oh my god, this is such nice clothing.
Trying to find something that fits, something that looks good. Yeah, you're distracted, going through your shopping spree over there. Percival comes rushing over. Augustine, you come over.
I got a hard success
Katie,
on 5.
Okay, so Harrow and Katie also here. So the 3 of you arrive almost immediately. And Augustine, you're just a few steps behind them. Percival, do you just like bust in the door? Do you knock?
Percival is about to bust in, realizes this is the room of a lady, and then politely knocks.
Well, what a gentleman.
Can Katie like bust in?
Katie wants to come running.
Katie, you can jump right in front of him and bust in, yeah.
Yeah, no, she's gonna go in front and bust in.
Okay. So Percival rushes over. Katie just boom pushes her way through.
I think I shoved Percival out
Are
of the
you
way
okay?
as I follow behind Katie.
I think the sound of the door getting busted in freaks her out even more, and she turns rapidly toward the door and reaches into her bomber jacket that she still has on, and then sees that it's Katie and Harrow and Percival outside the door. I'm fine.
Are you good?
Yes. All right.
You sure?
Yes. Truly. Yes, don't mind me. Apologies. I thought I saw something, but it was in my head. Long drive, after all.
I'm no stranger to thinking you're seeing things, lass.
Between the scream and the sudden breaking of a door in front of me, that's a lot of loud noises suddenly coming my way, so I'm still caught at the door. And
I'm going to ask
bit.
you to make a sanity check for me, please. No, like, Cthulhu mythos sanity, just your own unfortunately deteriorated brain.
74 over 40, so...
So on that failed sanity check, I know the rules. As Katie rushes past you and pushes through the door, like bodily slamming it open, it swings all the way back, slamming against the wall. You go back to a very dark place in your life where the smallest noise that you made could have meant somebody else heard it, and that would have been the last noise you made as somebody ended your life. You become very small as the world kind of expand, like everything becomes like tunnel vision. Your vision, the edges start to blur, and you can now hear every noise in this house. You can hear a cook downstairs sharpening a knife. You hear the splash of waves against the cliff base. Who knows how tall this cliff is? You hear this conversation happening in front of you, but it's all muffled. Your heart rate increases, and with that failure, you are going to lose 4 points of sanity, and you are catatonic for the next few minutes. You are just kind of trapped inside yourself, but everybody around you is too absorbed in what happened with Lizzie to actually notice at this point. You guys have your conversation in Lizzie's room. Lizzie almost drew a gun but didn't. Explains that, I got scared, but it's fine. We're all good.
Yeah, I think her eyes are on the
as
closet still, and are like, she moves over and starts like rifling through, like looking to make sure that there's no one like in the closet.
Okay. So you are lying. Give me a fast talk check.
Okay.
To see if you're able to fool Katie and Harrow.
Rolls are horrible.
Augustine, I would assume you've made your way over here by now, but we'll deal with you and Percival out in the hallway.
That is a 94. She's
Okay.
too rattled to lie.
So, yeah.
Can I make some kind of like insight against that, or I don't know how?
I would say just on their failure to lie, you guys would just notice this. She is lying about something. She's very clearly rattled. I'm not sure if either, like, obviously Hera wouldn't, but Katie, I'm not sure if you know she has a gun, but when somebody reaches into their coat like that, there's not a lot they're reaching for. So it's safe to assume that she was pulling maybe some sort of weapon. But having not revealed anything, it's, Schrodinger's gun. But you both notice that she's very clearly rattled, and you can proceed with that information how you would like.
I think Harrow looks into her eyes after she said she'd been seeing things. He looks into her eyes, searching for the same frenzy that is behind the one he's got covered.
For that specifically, I would ask for a spot hidden.
Ooh, that's 92. That's not happening.
You can see, like I said, she's clearly dismayed, but as far as like something that in depth, there's not. She just looked like she got spooked. Katie, is there anything you would like to look for specifically?
I think Katie would want to investigate whatever Lizzie is looking at. Like, look at it, like maybe like get a little closer to try to see what she's. To get some more information.
Yeah, you head over to the wardrobe next to her, and you start kind of rifling through as well. You see something that you honestly might look good on you, but it just looks like a standard wardrobe. You search from one side to another. There's an abundance of clothes in here, but nothing out of the ordinary. There's not 400 suits in here.
Yeah. Maybe you were shocked at the amazing wardrobe that you have. Like,
yeah, it do be an amazing wardrobe.
Yeah.
It is. Yes. Oh, here it is. And she'll pull out just a dress that she'll think looks good on her and still try to play off like, oh yeah, this is fine. Everything's good.
Okay. Augustine, as you were making your way slower to Lizzie's room, you witnessed this interaction with Percival. He knocked, Katie busted in, and he just like shut down, and he is now like staring off into the middle distance, and you can see he's like openly like breathing heavier and quicker, and there's like beads of sweat forming on his forehead. How would you like to approach that situation?
I think he'll come up and just give like a reassuring kind of pat on the back there, and just start with like, "Hey, friend, feeling all right there?" Oh, he's there. You
Huh?
just look like you were 1,000 miles away. Everything all right?
Thousand miles away. This, where am I? Hold on. What?
Oh, we're here at Vincent's house. I actually don't know if this is his primary residence. He kind of looks. Can I see where like the pocket where you've got your like flask tucked away in?
Yeah, it's not very, yeah. Yeah.
Okay, I think he'll like kind of tug out the flask and put it in your hand and be like, "Hey, why don't you have yourself a drink there? Wake yourself up."
Yeah, 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 yeah.
Everything all right?
You know, just been places, and sometimes places come with you.
It's true. Everybody seems so jumpy this afternoon. I think we're probably all just hungry. Can't drive people out here 2, 3, 4 hours. Who knows? We should be eating already.
Yeah, food would be great. One half hour passed since we were sent to these rooms. Could use that food. You're right. Food would do. Food.
I'll kind of like poke my head into the other room. Everybody all right in here?
We're fine. We're fine.
Fine as can
Are
be.
you guys good?
I think so. I think we're marshaling ourselves. He kind of unhelpfully looks at the door. Maybe we should call for some of the help here to take a look at this.
Lizzie had her little scare. Katie and Harrow rushed over to her aid. Percival attempted to, but was unfortunately distracted by some PTSD that happened with some loud noises. But Augustine was able to waylay some of his fears. Yes?
Mm-hmm. I did want to mention that Katie is in a different outfit.
Okay.
Yeah, because I didn't get to mention
Outfit
that
change.
beforehand because I was rushing to. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, she would have definitely been in a different outfit for the party event. I just wanted to put that out there.
Okay. Toby, having not heard the screams and the shouting, again, very much distracted by this room being so large, these clothes being so nice. You're going through trying to find a nice outfit. You're like, oh, these are some nice pants. This is a nice vest. Oh, look at the shirt. As you're
Fashion.
actually taking a good look around the room now, you notice behind the curtains at the window on the back of the house, long floor-length curtains, but you stop for a moment and you think that you see a pair of shoes sticking out underneath. Vincent said there were plenty of clothes, but he didn't mention anything about extra shoes for anybody. Would you like to go check out to the shoes?
Yeah, I don't see any reason to, like, Vincent's my boss. He's been good to me. I don't see any reason to. Maybe he brought me shoes specifically. Who knows? And I'll just go and take a look.
Okay. You start to make your way across the room to the curtain, to the shoes. As you reach for the shoes, I need you to make a dodge roll.
I don't know. Do I have anything? Oh. Okay. That's a 98.
As you bend down and start to reach for the shoes, one of them comes up quickly and kicks you right in the chin, knocking you onto your back as the curtain is ripped to the side and Francisco steps out towards you with a very large pistol aimed right at you. He stomps across the room,
Whoa.
pointing it down at you. You think you can leave me? You think you can leave my organization? I tell you when you're done, Toby.
Okay.
You think I should go visit your girl?
No.
What about that little bundle of joy you're waiting on? You think they can get out of here if you're out of here?
How do you know about that?
There's nothing that happens in your life that I don't know about. And make another dodge roll, please.
98 again.
So from the kick, you are going to take, all right, 2 points of damage, but more aggressively as Francisco brings the gun down across your face to pistol whip you. On that failure, you're going to take 5 points of damage. As this wrenches into your skull, that is a major wound, and you feel yourself starting to black out as Francisco stands above you, wiping the blood off of his gun, putting it away. He gets right up into your face so you can still see only his face as your vision starts to fade. I know where you're at all times. Do not think you can hide from me. And you black out.
Man, you asked for it and it delivered.
A few moments pass, and you wake up with a start on the bed. Make me a sanity roll, please.
Can I get a better roll? 70. So
Is that that's a failure? Okay.
fail.
As you wake up, you take 4 points of sanity loss. You still feel the shoe on your chin. You feel a massive headache from the pistol. But as you're inspecting your body, there's no blood. Your clothes are a little disheveled. And as you look around the room, it's how you left it. You had pulled out a couple articles of clothing, put them on a chair. Francisco's nowhere to be seen. But next to the wardrobe, that same pair of shoes is still sitting there without, feet or ankles in them. But you do not actually suffer that damage you took.
Are you sure? I mean, I'll take it. Damn.
How does Toby react to this situation, having just been assaulted by someone he truly fears, but then waking up and not that person not being there, the scene actually not having had happened?
Toby will honestly he knows he's been having nightmares as of late, and he sits there and he leans forward, he looks around, just kind of takes stock of where he's at, and he's gonna look at those shoes, and he's going to grab just a random piece of clothing off the rack, and he's gonna put them over the top of the shoes so we can't see him anymore. And then he's going to actually leave his room to get a breath of fresh air.
Okay. You exit the room, and you see this, concentration of everybody around Elizabeth's room. Excuse me. Jesus. Do you go to approach the other people, or are you just going to, kind of walk around the house a little bit?
I think I'm going to go to the kitchen and get a glass of water.
Okay. You head off downstairs. And you make your way back into the dining room. And as you go into the kitchen, you see that the kitchen is empty. There is a stack of sandwiches on the dining room table. And as you get to the kitchen, you see a note from Vincent saying, "Hey, Toby, sorry I had to fire the kitchen staff. Running to town to get some more food. We'll be back as soon as I can." And then just signed V. But you look around, the kitchen's empty. It looks like they were fired mid-job. There's just knives hanging out. There's half-clean dishes. And as you look out the service entrance, the car that you arrived in with Vincent is gone as well.
That's weird. All right. I will get a glass of water, and I guess I'll grab the tray of sandwiches, and I'm assuming it's a tray for all of us.
Yeah, there's a large serving tray.
Yeah, I'll grab that, and I'll head it back to the group.
Okay. Toby heads upstairs with this tray of sandwiches. Do you explain what's going on with Vincent?
I'll say the boss left a bunch of sandwiches for us. He said he had to go into town. But he'll be back in a little bit, from what I understand. So just sit tight, and he'll be back when he gets back.
Did he go alone?
I don't know.
Everybody give me a natural world check. It's a
Natural
weird
world.
skill that nobody probably has any training in, but I think this would probably be
You'd be surprised training a
The
fisherman
most
has in
accurate.
the natural world.
I mean, that's
happened.
true. You're a fisherman.
That's so funny.
That
I actually rolled
wait,
a
no, I'm
5
reading it
under 10.
backwards again.
So that's
Okay.
that is an 8 under 45. That's an extreme success.
Oh, okay.
Oh, all right.
I know
So
a lot about
extreme
fish, you
success.
see.
Extreme success from Harrow. Hard success from Percival, or regular?
yeah, 5 out of 10, so half.
Okay.
Whatever.
Katie
I
and
got
Toby failed.
Got 80.
Yeah, I
Augustine?
failed.
Fail 41.
Okay. Harrow and Percival, surprisingly, the two that probably know this area the least, you know that you were paying more attention to the trip out than you realize in this moment. You know you're pretty sure where you're at on the New England coast. And while you came south heading north, and that took quite some time, if you were to go further north, about an hour and a half, you would reach a small town where, there's grocery stores, farmers markets, things like that, where if Vincent was going anywhere, that would be the closest place to go, grab some supplies and come back. So probably around 3 hours before Vincent would be back at a good timing. And I would say, right, it's probably about 11:30 in the morning now, closer to noon. But Toby has brought up some sandwiches. You guys are able to have a little snack. And Vincent did say you're free to explore the house as you seem fit to just avoid his room. Yeah.
Katie will whisper to Lizzie, "You want to go check out the library?"
That is exactly what I had in mind. Yes, let's go.
Okay.
Let's go.
I think Harrow tries to take, having realized that Vincent will be out for a while, Harrow tries to take Augustine aside again and have another private conversation.
Okay.
Yeah.
You two head downstairs to the library. Percival and Toby, what would you guys like to do?
Well, if everyone's vacating the kitchen and leaving me alone with the alcohol, I'm checking out all the alcohol and just like mixing things, trying flavors, seeing what works, what doesn't for Percival, from Percival's point of view.
Okay.
If the kitchen's empty too and there's just food stuff laying around, I'm going to be mixing stuff with that. I'm checking out the kitchen and the alcohol.
Okay. All right, we'll get to that in a moment. Toby, what do you like to do?
Toby's a little torn because he's just gonna sit and eat a sandwich because that just sounds amazing right now. And when he finishes that, he notices Percival has pulled out all the liquor and is starting to look at him. And I see the other two go off to the library, and I kind of want to follow them. But I see Percival just like measuring things out and essentially what I view as possibly just wasting the liquor. And in my head, I'm like, what do you do? And I approach Percival and I'm like, well, what are you doing? And I'll engage with Percival and what's going on here.
I'm testing things. You can't understand the world if you don't experience it with all the senses. Like, you got your hearing, your sight, your taste, your smell. You got to use all your senses to truly understand an object. And, well, the best way to do that's through food and drink. So here I am, testing, experiencing the world.
All right.
I was expecting to be talking to Mr. LaCosta by this time, but LaCosta, I'm not complaining about his host skills. We're here and he's been very generous, but to just leave after less than half an hour into the party just feels... So I'm helping myself.
Yeah, there was a situation that came up and he had to take his leave, but he said he'll be back.
Uh-huh. I'm just taking your word for it.
But there was a note. That's all I had.
I look at the note, words are spinning because I've probably a few more drinks in at this point, and honestly, it's like, doesn't seem real. I handed him back to you.
What is this? A bunch of letters? Okay, so you guys are hanging out in the kitchen, doing some experimentation. Toby's trying to moderate the use of the ingredients that are left.
Every bottle you take out of my hand, I'm already reaching for another bottle unhesitatingly, like it's just a rhythm.
This is good practice, Toby, for when you have a child. There you go. Harrow and Augustine, we're going to have another conversation. Augustine, are you going to engage with Harrow, or are you going to try and like divert and go elsewhere?
Yeah, no, I think you said that there was a balcony in my room, or was there just a
Well,
balcony?
not
on
in.
the
It's
second
the
floor?
like the area next to your room. There's an outdoor balcony.
Oh, sure.
It's like it
I'll
shares
probably
the
step
wall, but
out.
it doesn't like connect.
Okay, gotcha. Yeah, I'll probably step out onto the balcony with him, like offer him a cigarette.
I
Okay.
Yeah, I don't take it. Yeah, I heard it. It's here.
As you guys step out onto the balcony, Harrow, you would notice this immediately. There is a storm moving in from the east, heading towards shore. It doesn't look to be that severe from what you have been on severe storms frequently. God, excuse me. It looks like it's going to be a lot of bluster, but not a lot of like. There's no need to like hunker down or shelter in place or anything like that. But there is a storm coming. Some more simple roads in this area might get a little washed out, but like no flooding or anything like that.
Cool. Yeah. I think as I step onto the balcony, Harrow immediately grabs Augustine's shoulders and I heard it. It's here.
What's here?
You know damn well what. You, the fellow you sold it to. Might he resold it? Man like Vincent, maybe.
Well, that's possible.
Possible.
What exactly...
Possible's good enough.
Friend, why don't you tell me what was in that box?
Not that our eyes were meant to see, lad. That which Neptune himself wants back.
I knew I should have got more for it.
She never sold it to you in the first place, but I need it. I need it back right now.
Well, I don't got it. And if you can hear it, I mean, maybe we could track it back down, but...
Oh no, I need to stop hearing it!
As far as I know, it's been sold.
That accursed thing has been all that's in my dreams for years! He pulls off his eye patch and shows the bloodshot eye. I've given blood for that. I've given blood. I've given rest. I've given it back.
Augustine, as he is making these declarations, showing you the scars on his hand, what his eye actually looks like, I need you to make a sanity check, please.
Yeah. He's maybe in a little deep. Okay, that's a 58. Where's my sanity? Oh, my sanity's 80. I'm super sane. Very sane.
Okay.
See shit like this all the time, apparently.
Totally fine. You are
Totally fine. It's all in the
still going to
business.
take a small sanity loss as this grizzled
Sure.
fisherman is basically accosting you. You're going to lose 3 sanity points, and as you see the symbol carved into Harrow's hand, it seems familiar to you, and you remember seeing that same symbol in some of the books in your shop.
I just take his hand and hold it. Well, now this we can work with. And kind of get a good look at it. Look, I do have some literature on this back at home, and I think you just need to maybe take a deep breath. If we found it once, or if you found it once, we could find it again here, especially if it's talking to you. What's it saying?
It's here. is here somewhere. And he wants to go home.
Well,
We can find it
do
again.
you know where its home is?
Harrow just points out to the sea.
All right, well, that's pretty nearby. I think we can handle that. Maybe we should take a look around here then.
You find it again.
There might be other interesting things worth acquiring.
Right. Let's get looking.
All right, I'm gonna pat him on the back here, and we'll head out.
Right. And Lizzie and Katie are off to the library. You head down the stairs, and the library is right there at the base of the stairs. You cut a right and push the doors open to just so many books, dozens and dozens, hundreds of volumes, leather-bound, older texts that are like made out of like some sort of rough wooden structure, frayed, newer, different colors. Go ahead and as you enter the room, give me a spot hidden from both of you, please.
That is a 33 for a hard success.
Nice.
Ooh. I got a spot in. I got a 9.
Very
Okay.
nice.
So that is an extreme success. Okay. You guys go into this room and immediately like you're both reporters. You've been in like filing rooms and the basements of libraries, searching through old books and tomes and novels and records and things like that. So you're able to immediately point out that there's no organization to this. It looks like books had been pulled off, possibly read, and then put back somewhere completely unrelated. There's no rhyme or reason to this at all. With an extreme success, Katie, you are able to notice that while the rest of like the hallway and the dining room and your room were cleaned and maintained and looked like they were polished today, this room seems to see less use. It's not like covered in dust and cobwebs, but there is like a level of dust that like this room isn't cleaned as often as the rest of what you've seen of the house. There are a few tomes, as you're looking around with that extreme success, there are a few tomes that you are able to point out are ones that have been looked at quite a bit. They are older looking books from the spine, and if you would like to investigate further, you may do so.
Yeah, I think I will.
Okay. There are 2 books that you pull off. The one is a recollection of the eruption of Mount Vesuvius. The other one is you flip through some of the pages. It's a book on like medieval history. As you're flipping through, we're going to write off that extreme success one more time. You find a section of pages that are very well viewed. Like they're a little more worn down than the rest. There's like these 3 or 4 pages are read over and over again, but the whole book isn't read over and over again. And as you're looking at those couple of pages, it indicates a strange occurrence that happened in the year 1518 in what is described as modern day France. There was a plague that struck this small town that affected anywhere between 50 and 400 people. Modern scientists are saying that it was a stress-induced mass hysteria, but it is called the Dancing Plague of 1518. And in this small town in France, these 50 to 400 people took to dancing for several months uncontrollably, to no explanation once everything was said and done. The history of the eruption of Mount Vesuvius is just the history of the eruption of Mount Vesuvius. It indicates, when it erupted. There's a little bit of explanation about how earthquakes happen, causing volcanic eruptions to happen, and rough estimates on how at this point, they probably discovered that probably about 1,500 people had died. I think later in real life they discovered more, but at this point it was probably around 1,500 that they're aware of. Lizzie, with your hard success, you notice not only today's newspaper that was mentioning about the Titanic, but also several older editions of newspapers that happened, like the newspapers came out the preceding days after, when it was the biggest thing in the world. There's a small stack of 6 or 7 different newspapers, some from New York, some from Boston, even a couple of international issues since the ship did depart from, Europe. But that's like the main gist of this room right now is Katie found those 2 books. Lizzie, you found these newspaper articles about the wreck of the Titanic.
Well, Vincent sure has his strange interests. I didn't know that about him. Seems obsessed with the Titanic. Do you find anything interesting?
Something about a plague and something about Mount Vesuvius. I gotta say, this place isn't very clean. All of these books have dust on them. So I don't know how well Vincent is maintaining his library. But that's what I found so far. Did you find anything particularly interesting?
Just these newspapers about the Titanic. Just like dozens of issues. Kind of strange.
Weird.
Mount
Does it have a date on those newspapers?
It starts from like when the ship first when it first launched or when it first crashed?
It was the newspapers that were reporting that it first crashed. So probably like 17th, 18th of April, 1912. A few days after that. Then there's like one that's a few months after, and then the current one it's been several years now.
Yeah.
But
since it first crashed, and then a few issues since reporting new finds about it, but so 3 you found those books like being read?
I don't know if they've been read. I mean, I assume I guess they were the ones that seem to be read the most in here, at least, but I don't know how often, considering the look of this place, but they do seem to be read more than the other ones that I've seen here.
Three instances of like mass death and tragedy.
Oh yeah. Kind of concerning, don't you think?
I just don't know why Vincent would be interested, but well, we all have our hobbies.
I guess. Maybe we should ask him about it.
Definitely.
See what he has to say.
I was thinking we could ask his helping hand here. I don't know if I've caught his name yet.
The one that was at the door.
Toby, I think.
Maybe?
Yeah. I believe
Maybe
so.
That's his name?
Worth a shot.
It doesn't hurt. It doesn't hurt to ask.
Alright. You can go look around for him.
Okay. Are you going to take any of the materials with you, or are you just going to leave them in the library there?
I'd probably leave the newspapers.
Okay.
I'll probably Yeah, I'll probably leave the books in here as well. I don't see any need to bring them with me.
Okay. Harrow and Augustine, you're heading downstairs to start looking around. Harrow, are you trying to tune into this voice in your mind, or how do you go about searching?
I think he doesn't want to. He doesn't want to hear the voice right now. He's trying to be rational about where it might be in the house. So he's just looking
Okay.
normally.
Okay. As you guys start to head downstairs, Augustine, as you're walking down the stairs behind Harrow, you have your hand on the handrail. As you approach the bottom step, similar to what happened with Lizzie, as you're about to lift your hand off the handrail, a hand grabs back at you. I need you to make a sanity check, please.
Oh no. Alright. Very sane. This is super normal. Actually, yes, that's a 33. Yeah, 33 under 80.
Okay. You take 1 point of sanity,
Okay.
and you are able to wrench your hand out, and as you glance down, you see just the normal wooden handrail.
Something wrong there?
I think he just kind of stops and looks back. No, just eyes playing tricks on me here.
I know the feeling.
Where should we start looking here? I know there's a library. Is there a study or
So there's the
something
library,
else?
which is the door right to your right, which Katie and Lizzie are just now leaving. There's a lounge further down the hall at the front of the house. The drinks parlor is right to your left, and then Vincent's office is from the base of the stairs, the front left room.
I think I go straight for Vincent's office.
Maybe take Vincent's office.
Okay. You approach the door, and it is locked.
Now, he did say that we could go anywhere. Perhaps he just locked us by mistake.
I'm willing to believe that. No.
Okay.
I'm gonna take a little pin out of my pocket or something and try and jimmy the lock.
Go ahead and make a locksmith check. I'm pretty sure that is a learned skill, and nobody has anything
I
except.
don't think
1%
I
on
have that, but
it.
just to see. Yeah, no, I for sure don't. Well, here we go.
I mean, you can try it. If you get a 1,
We're good. There's a chance. No, that's a 73.
okay. You can push it.
Yeah, I think Harry looks at Augustine trying to pick the lock and just squints a bit and then goes.
It's just
Tries to
it's not even
slam
a
it
little
open.
pin. It's just a pen, an actual ballpoint pen. He's trying to. Yeah, I got this.
Sure, man, sure.
Yeah, go right ahead.
Yeah,
Wait, so you're just going to try and break it
Yeah.
down?
just raw straight.
Go ahead and give
face.
me a strength check.
Ooh, that's 99.
Ooh.
Can I? What will be the consequences if I try to push it?
We're so good at this.
If you try to push it and fail, you're probably going to hurt your shoulder breaking into the door.
I'm gonna push it.
Okay, go for it.
That's 72. That's a failure again. Actually, wait, how many lock?
You
I get it to a success with 12 lock points. Actually,
Ooh.
I'm gonna spend
big
luck
I
points.
mean, you do have quite a bit of
I'm
luck,
gonna spend some
so
luck points.
you gonna burn them?
Yeah.
Okay.
That's 12. So it's 22.
Sorry, hang on. Point of order. You cannot use luck on pushed rolls,
Damn. Never mind.
which is why the consequence is stated up front. My bad.
Never mind.
So that's a failed pushed
Yeah.
roll. So you rear back one time, you push into it, and you're like, I got this. That first time didn't work, but I got this. You take a few steps back and you just charge at it with your shoulder, and you misjudge the door to the frame and just kind of bluster right into the frame, and it's going to be 2 points of damage as you like almost dislocate your shoulder, shoving it into the wall. And this loud ruckus has definitely drawn the attention of at least Toby. Hendrik, I would say these aren't like loud enough to trigger your PTSD, but you would hear them. And
I
Toby
definitely just dropped the bottle that I'm holding in my hand in reaction, but
I think
but Toby and Percival both hear these sounds if you want to start heading out towards the
I think also
point of
as
origin.
he slams into the wall, he reopens some of the scars along his arm, and a bit of blood begins to seep out of his glove that's covering up this whole mess.
Okay.
Oof.
So Toby
easy
would have
there
been interacting enough with Percival and kind of given up. I'm like, all right, I will. You just keep doing your thing. This is all a gift
come on,
from
Toby.
Vince.
Where's
so
he keep the good stuff? Where's he keep the good stuff, Toby?
I don't know. I assume this was the good stuff.
Know.
I don't drink
This
enough
ain't
to
good.
know.
I've tasted everything here. This is pretty average stuff.
And I've been like trying to say maybe he'll taste some, but I think honestly he'd be like, no, I need to get something else in my stomach first. But I'm gonna taste some of those in the future, Percival. I am curious. Some of those smell interesting. And then the big slam will happen, and Toby will be like, did you hear that?
And in a quick reaction, I drop the bottle and like I just phase out for a second. But like, what was that, Toby? That sounded like another big crash. A lot of crashes happen around this house. What's up with this house, Toby?
Yeah, I don't know. This is the first time I've actually been inside it.
This is not very comfortable. I gotta say, abandoning us and making a lot of loud noises. This is not a great hosting job. I'm just saying, Toby. Vincent can take some notes on hosting.
Well, he's done a lot for me, so I'm not disagreeing.
Not doing a lot for us.
Well, come. Let's go check
Maybe
that
we
out,
should-
and I'm gonna
Yeah.
head towards the sound.
I'll grab a bottle.
Maybe
on
we
the
should
way
find
out, but
that
I
young
follow
lady
Toby.
who seemed so good at opening doors before.
Might be an idea.
So Toby and Percival head through the kitchen back into the hallway. At this point, I would say that everybody's here. I'm sure Katie and Lizzie stopped to see Harrow try to break down a door.
Keyword try.
So now at this point, keyword try. At this point, everybody's back in the main hall. Toby, you see a grasping his shoulder in pain. Harrow, and you can very easily put two and two together. They were trying to break down the door to Vincent's office.
Is there a problem, gentlemen? And looks around, and I see Lizzie and Katie. I'm like, hello. Like,
See, our kind
My
host,
friend here.
gave us leave to explore the whole manor, you see, and I must have mistakenly locked this door right here. So we were just trying to take a peek, you see.
I start stepping towards you as soon as you say whole manor, and I'm like, no, he said whole manor, but stay out of his room. That's his room.
This is his office. Completely different.
Room, office, it doesn't matter, it's locked.
Yeah, I must
It's
concur.
probably for good reason.
Mr. LaCosta ain't that great of a host, but he did ask respectfully we stay out of his room. I mean, you got it. Even if he's not doing the best job hosting, you can't be rude and just charge in and break his one rule.
Well, I'm with Harrow. I accidentally lock doors all the time. I think he meant for us to, have access, except for his room, of course.
And as some of Mr. Harrow's luggage has been misplaced.
Quite. I was only
No,
searching for
you
my
can't be
spyglass,
doing that.
see?
You came with luggage? Wait, you came with luggage? Hold on. How are we supposed to be here? I thought this was a day trip. Was I supposed to bring luggage? Was I supposed to bring new underoos?
Each their own, I guess. But do you guys think this might be a little bit weird, considering it's supposed to be a party, but he apparently doesn't have kitchen staff?
Now, Katie, I was just remarking on Mr. Lacosta's hosting skills. I gotta say, I haven't been to a lot of these fancy gatherings. I thought we were supposed to be wearing masks, but I'm the only one here with one, and now I'm finding out the host can just leave without any food set out for any of us? Like, Katie, I don't get this either, if I'm being honest.
I think
This
it's a bit
is...
strange.
I can answer the kitchen staff situation. Apparently, they were unprofessional last night, and he fired them on the spot. So, hard. What he does is it's his company. He does what he wants. I can't tell you, like, it's hard for me to talk against my boss. I hope you understand. He's done a lot for me. But he said that he is on his way with food. That was what his note said. Now, I'm more than happy to hand the note over to Katie.
Okay.
When did you find the note?
When I came up with the sandwiches.
You should try being freelance.
Question
Okay.
for just
All
out of
meat
character
sandwiches?
information. Oh, sorry.
Go ahead.
You should try being freelance, my friend. No master but the waves.
Out my shoulder.
He tries to do like a
Is your shoulder
gesture of some
okay?
description and like does his shoulder again.
What's going on with your shoulder there, friend?
And I guess
I'm fine.
I'll
I'm
ask.
fine.
Can we see the symbols on the hand?
They're definitely bleeding through a little bit. There's some description of blood coming out.
Yeah, but he did put the glove back on,
Yeah.
so you can't see the whole
Yeah,
thing.
the glove's on,
Hang on 1 second, though.
but it's
Rain, you had a question out of character?
Oh, yeah. I was just curious. Do we know that Lizzie and Katie are reporters? I can't remember if that had been said like publicly or if we just like knew them from them being around town.
I think Vincent said it when we walked in.
Yeah.
When we
He did.
Okay, cool.
I believe he called out Lizzie. I don't remember if it was explicitly stated that Katie's also a reporter.
Okay.
But
Okay.
with them butting up as much as they have been, again, you can make your own assumptions.
Okay.
I don't think they have like their press badge hanging out anywhere, but
Okay, I just wanted to
No.
make sure I wasn't making an out. Okay, jump. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
so Harrow is bleeding, has a busted shoulder now. You guys try to get into Vincent's office unsuccessfully. Toby is stepping in to try to settle everything down, like, hey, don't go break in doors. I don't really like having people like roll against each other for like a deception or like a persuasion type of thing. I feel like that takes away that person's agency. But it would come down to if Harrow and Lizzie are still trying to get into this door, is Toby going to acquiesce to that, or is Toby going to step in to try to stop it? Either physically or to convince them to say, hey, cool it, he'll be back.
So Toby, right now, he's standing there and he's you can tell that he's more defensive because of what he does. He likes his boss essentially, but then he thinks back and he remembers that Vincent told him it's a vacation. You're not wearing your work attire. Go relax. So Toby's gonna be like, I don't want to hear any more slamming around. If anybody wants to go play, I'm assuming they had pool in the 1920s. I'm just going to roll with that. If anybody wants to go play pool with me in the lounge, please follow me. And then he's going to leave.
Okay. Yeah, there's a pool table in the lounge.
Yeah. Well, and Harrow, I think I can throw together a little bit of drink to help with the pain, if anything. I could probably throw something together. Trust me, I got this.
That'd be much appreciated, lad.
Okay, so Toby steps away. He heads off to the lounge. If you guys would still like to try to break down this door, you can still attempt whatever you would like. Toby has removed himself from the hallway. If anybody would like to follow Toby to play some pool, there's also that option as well.
Oh, I was just gonna give like Harrow a wink and be like, actually, yeah, a game of pool doesn't sound half bad. And step off with him to start a very loud game of pool, hopefully.
Okay.
If I might intrude, I'd suggest finding a key of sorts. That might be easier. And she'll leave Harrow with a wink and head to go play pool as well.
That might be an idea, lassie.
Okay. So Harrow and Katie are in the hallway still. Katie, what would you like to do?
What other areas were there? It was the library. It was the...
So the lounge is where everybody's going to play pool. You and Lizzie had just left the library. You're standing in front of Vincent's office, and then the room to the left there is like a drinks parlor.
I'm going to the drinks parlor to put together some medicine real quick.
I'll just go with everyone then to just go play pool then.
Okay.
I'll see if there was another place I could investigate. Yeah.
Harrow, are you going to try and look around the unlocked rooms to try and find some keys, or what would you like to do?
Yeah, I think he's gonna start having a look around for a key, or wherever he can think there might be one left.
Okay. You know that there is a room off of the kitchen, just based off of the size. So you head back into the dining room. You go into the kitchen, as Toby and Percival said that it's been abandoned. There's a lot of leftovers from Percival's drink mixing, but there is a door off the one wall, which would be heading north to like the side of the mansion that you could head to as well. Okay, you step in there and you see a laundry area. There's a couple of like industrial-sized washing machines, clotheslines, a couple of steamers, things like that. As you're making your way into this room, the dripping of your coat starts to shift into, it starts to emanate steam. And you're looking around, you notice none of these machines are on, but your coat is changing. And as you're looking around, there is a small window facing out towards the back of the house. You see that the storm has started to roll in, and there you can see sheets of rain that are rapidly approaching the house, and the light is getting a little dimmer as the cloud coverage is coming in. As you're looking around, you see a bundle of towels in one corner underneath a rack with some keys on it. As you approach to examine the keys more, you see these towels start to form a shape. It's almost like a person, and as you're looking at it, you see they're just towels, though. They're not actually a person, but as you get closer, you start to see more details. You can see how this towel folded this way, that could be a leg, that could be a bicep, and then at the end of the arm, you don't see a hand, you don't see fingers, but you see just the very tips of sharp claws. And as you reach for these keys on the rack, they retract into the towel outside of you.
Harrow, I think, closes his eye a little. It starts to hurt, as it does every now and then. And he continues reaching to try and grab the key.
Okay. As you reach up to grab the key off of the rack, the hand bursts up and grabs your forearm, and you can see deep green and blue scaly flesh and thick claws that pierce into your forearm. Not doing any damage, but like definitely causing like lacerations and scratches. And as the force you have on the key is equal to the force that this is gripping around your forearm, and you start to pull the key away, and a figure emerges from beneath the towels, standing over you, a very humanoid shape, legs, arms, but you can feel these claws, and you see, on the other hand, webbed fingers, gills along the side of the neck, as this humanoid fish starts to tower over you, pulling your arm down with the key still in it, and just with one single hand shoves you back against the washer. You're going to take 4 points of damage, and I need you to make a sanity check, please.
66 is a failure.
As you stare up at this thing, now like slamming into the dryer, now on your back, it's 6, 10, 12 feet tall. It's hard to tell. This isn't something you've ever seen before. And it starts to step over you, water just dripping off of it, like dribbling all over you. It leans down real close, and you can see its nostrils flaring as it's like picking up your scent. And then you hear a crash of thunder as the storm approaches, and it looks to the side, loses its headset, bashes through the door, and takes off into the backyard.
I think Harry just lies there for a moment. He is certain this thing will be back if he does not find the box. So he sits there for a moment. He looks over his other arm, also bloodied. Looks up, gets up. Is the key now undefended?
You still had it in your hand. Like you like panic gripped it, and even as you got knocked back, it's still like you can now see like the impression, like it's covered in blood from squeezing it so hard.
He looks at the bloodied key in his hands and Poseidon, I'll get a feel yet. And he rushes back to the door.
Okay, so you're heading back to the office. Percival, you moved to the drink parlor to make some medicine.
Yeah.
Okay. You're hanging out in the drinks parlor by yourself. This storm is starting to come in, so the window isn't offering much natural light as it's starting to become dark. Excuse me. You're in there by yourself making a drink. You're trying this concoction out. You're trying that concoction out. Give me a constitution check to see what level this is affecting your intake.
Okay. Let's see. That is a 66 out of 75, so we're good.
Okay. You have, I don't want to say perfect clarity, because I don't think Percival's had perfect clarity in years, but you know enough when you're affected by your drink that this thing might not look like this, that thing might not sound like that, but you're in that state where you're still like, no, I know what's what. And as you're kind of puttering around the room, mixing these drinks, you take a glance out the window. Tall window, not quite floor to ceiling length, but is a large bay window. It probably comes up to about your knees. And you know you're on the ground floor. As you look out and see the storm coming in, there's a flash of lightning, and reflected in the mirror back, or in the glass back at you, isn't your own face, but a large, many-toothed fish human face. I need you to make a sanity check, please. This is good stuff.
Okay. Would the loud noise of thunder suddenly come in and also affect this?
The thunder...
That's a 62 over 36.
You have 36 sanity?
That's what's left, yeah.
Okay.
I rolled a 62.
So on that failure...
That's twice.
You see this thing, and any other moment you might have been able to chalk this up to, oh, I've had a bit to drink, I haven't had these things before, but you know how you feel, and what's worse is you know what you just saw was real, and you know that you can't explain it. You can't write it off as, I had too much to drink. And as you see this thing, you lose 6 points of sanity. You see it, and it sees you. I need you to make a dodge roll, please.
Okay. What's my dodge?
Fuck. Really down.
What? That is a 36 over 23. So another fail.
On a failure, this creature jumps into the window at you and pins you to the ground as its claws sink into your chest and shoulder.
This is uncomfortable.
And its large mouth opens up and sinks deep into your throat, and you feel the blood rapidly draining from your body. You take 28 points of damage as this thing drains your life's blood, and you are dead within but a moment.
Rip.
Oh,
Damn.
Dead?
Wow.
Dead.
Yeah, I got off lucky then. Damn.
Harrow,
Dang.
I need you to make a listen check. As you're moving back through the house, I would say you're the closest person to possibly hear the shattering of this window.
That's 22 was a failure. I'm going to spend 2 luck points to get it to 20.
Okay. You hear the shattering of this window in this room off to your left as you're racing back to the office. And on a success, I would say on a success, you just hear the shattering of the window. You don't hear anything beyond that. But you do know that Percival mentioned going to the drinks parlor by himself.
I think Harrow calls out as he hears that. Everyone! A window broke! Let's go see what that was! But then, if he sees people start to come, he's not going to go himself.
Okay. Everybody else, go ahead and give me listen checks as you're just playing pool, being cool people. Look at me, I have whiskey and a cigarette.
36. Listen. Nope, 36 over 20. That's a fail for me.
fail 70 over 50.
Oof.
Yeah, fail.
You got pretty good listen too, man.
84 over
Yeah.
50.
Katie?
I think I got 80. It's 80 and a 0. So I'm assuming that's 80.
Yes, 80. That would be 80.
Yeah.
So everybody
And-
failed.
Yike.
I mean, you could spend luck. You could try and push the roll.
What would happen if I pushed the roll?
If you push the roll, you would go out into the hallway just to check, and then you would. What would be the negative effect of that? I don't know. Honestly, in this situation, you guys are like the four of you are like just having a game of pool. You probably just miss your next pool shot.
I'll push
That
it.
would be it. Yeah. There's no
I'll
like
push it.
dire circumstances for you guys right now.
I will push it.
Push that then.
Yeah,
Go
sure.
for it.
That's even worse.
That is even. Wait. Oh, no. It's still worse.
33
That's
under
14.
Well, not worse.
So 14 under 25, so I get the second level of success.
The hard success.
Nice.
Yeah.
And Lizzie, you had a regular
50.
success?
Yes.
Okay. So you two both hear Harrow from the hallway mentioning a window breaking and suggesting that somebody go check it out. Augustine and Katie, you're like knee deep in this game, but you both miss your next shots. You're somehow both shooting at the same time, which isn't how pool works. But
2 separate games, maybe? I don't know.
but yeah, Lizzie and Toby, you're able to hear. Toby, I would even say on a hard success, you heard the window break, and then Harrow mentioned the window breaking.
So I'm thinking, I hear the window break, and I'm like, I'm not going to check. Hey, I think the window broke.
That's not my job.
God,
I'm not even supposed to be here today.
Yes.
I think somebody's yelling for us. I'll remark to the group. I hear somebody yelling for us, something about a window breaking.
We should go check it then.
I heard that as well. Yes, we should go,
We should check it.
I believe.
Okay. You guys rush out into the hallway. You see Harrow points to the door. The window broke in there, and he rushes to Vincent's office with his bloody key. Who would like to open the door to the drinks parlor?
Katie will do it.
Okay. You rush over, swing the door open, and give me a spot hidden.
Spot hidden. It's a 17 I got.
Okay.
So yeah. Yeah.
So that is a hard success. If this is an instance where you wanted to fail, because as you burst this door open, you see Percival, and just for the very briefest moment, he looks up and sees you. Your eyes connect as the light fades from his eyes. You see this massive fishoid creature raise up, blood dripping down its jaws. It snarls at you, and then it makes eye contact with you. It turns and lunges. It dives probably a good 6-7 feet straight out the window as it jumps through the window, and you see it vanish in the storm as it's approaching. I need you to make a sanity check, please.
Katie would have been like, did anybody see that? Insanity. Let me see. Sanity.
Is Katie the only one that saw it?
30 is the sanity roll I just rolled.
Anybody else in the hallway can also give me a spot hidden if you want to try and see it. You got a 30 on your sanity check, Katie?
Yeah. Am I subtracting that from my total, or how
No,
does it work?
you're not. This isn't what you're losing. This is just to see if you pass or fail the sanity check.
Okay, gotcha.
So what's your current
Yeah.
sanity right now?
60.
Okay, so then you pass, which is good because this is a pretty heavy sanity loss. But you pass, so you'll take half. So you're going to take 5. You're going to take 5 sanity points loss.
Okay.
It was going to be 10, but you passed. Is anybody else hoping to see what happened in the room?
I think Lizzie is too curious. She has to know. So she's
Okay.
definitely trying to peek over Katie's shoulder.
Yeah, if you're looking, give me a spot hidden.
And Toby's in the back. He's trying to not do it, but he is curious.
Okay.
Regular success.
You don't see this thing standing over Percival's body, but you do get a good enough look at it as this creature fins like down its head and neck, all the way down its back, down its tail, large muscular legs as it pushes off the ground, diving out the window. Go ahead and give me a sanity check. Toby or Augustine, if you are looking, give me a spot hidden.
I'm not. I think Augustine is honestly expecting that we're going to go in and find that Percival has dropped some glasses, and so he's not like expecting anything bad.
Okay.
Yeah, and I'm not looking either. I'm hanging back with Augustine.
Okay.
My sanity is a 68, and I rolled a 68. Is that a success? I don't remember how ties work.
Meets it, beats it. So you should be
Great.
good on that. Yeah.
Barely passed. Then.
That's so sick. That's amazing.
So close.
So
You just got it.
which one was that? This one. So again, same as Katie, you pass. So instead of taking the full amount, you're going to suffer 4 points of sanity loss. As you see, you both, Katie saw a lot more, but you also see this, even at the quick glance, you saw that this is tall, powerful, with the claws and the teeth, some sort of aggressor, but nothing that you have seen or heard of in the natural world. Harrow, you're rushing off to Vincent's office?
Yeah. Bloody key in hand.
Okay, we'll go through that real quick, and then we'll check in with the group of 4.
Yeah.
So you bust through you throw the key in the lock real quick, swing the door open, and you see a room that if someone told you to guess who owned this room, you could have 100 guesses, and you'd never land on Vincent based on his personality. This room looks like a deranged person's worst nightmare, as you see boards and newspaper clippings and pages torn out of books and twine wrapping around from like this event to this person to this event. There's a pile of trash in the waste bin. Dozens and dozens and dozens of like smushed out cigarettes, empty glasses. It looks like this room, somebody took this room from a totally separate house and put it into this mansion. It looks so discordant with what's going on. And you're trying to make some sort of sense of this. But as you are looking across this room, make me a sanity check, please.
95 is a failure.
As you search around the room, you see this stuff and you're trying to figure it out, but you quickly get distracted because as you're looking through things hanging and pinned and stuff, you see a small pendant hanging on one of these boards. And as you look at it, you see that it's staring back at you as it's in the shape of an eye that matches perfectly the scars on your hand. And as you connect with it, you failed your sanity check, yes?
Yep.
You are going to suffer 9 points of sanity, and you are going to go temporarily insane. And that effect is... Let me take a look at my list I have here. There are quite a few. So as you suffer a bout of madness, you are going to go into physical hysterics. You are not able to communicate without laughing, crying, or screaming for the next 7 or 8 minutes.
I found you. After all this time, I found you. Finally!
You all hear Harrow open this door, gasp, starts laughing maniacally about having found something. Augustine and Toby, you are still in the hallway. Would you like to pursue Harrow, or would you like to go after Lizzie and Katie?
I think I'm of the same mindset as Augustine that most likely what broke was a bottle of something. And assuming Katie and Lizzie haven't reacted in some way that makes me think I need to give my attention to them, I'll register that sound and I'll turn and head back for the door.
I guess that's a question for Lizzie and Katie. How did you react upon seeing the scenes that you saw?
I think if Katie doesn't move, Lizzie pushes past her and runs into the room, like pauses to take note of Percival's body, but moves to the window to try and get a look at whatever did this or whoever did this. She's still not convinced that it was like that she saw what she actually saw, you know?
Okay.
If
Katie is shocked and like hugging the wall, and is trying to mentally process what she just saw, and is like, did I really just see that? And then also trying to register Percival's body, but is still hung up on the fact that she just saw this creature. So hasn't mentally gotten to the part yet where there is somebody laying on the ground.
If there's panic happening on one side and hysterical laughter on the other, I think I'll just like exchange a tired look with Toby and then point towards the laughter and be like, I'll go that way if.
All right, yeah, I'll follow them, and we'll split.
Okay.
Yeah.
Toby, as you make your way into the drinks parlor and see this horrific scene of Percival on the ground, I need you to make me a sanity check, please.
Oh no.
That is a failure.
You might have seen a dead body or two in your life. I know you had enlisted but never served, if I remember your backstory correctly. so this might be a complete shock to you, especially the brutality of this. This looks like a wild animal without any medical knowledge needed, and just at a quick glance, you can see shred marks, bloody shred marks from the claws, just a large chunk of his neck missing. You're going to take 4 points of sanity loss, seeing this mangled body on the ground in front of you.
I was just talking to you. What? And I'm gonna follow my gaze. I'll go ahead and look at where Lizzie is running to the window, and then I'll see
Lizzie's
Kate.
tearing across the room to like peer out this window.
I think Katie slowly walks over. Katie like slowly walks over to Toby and stares at the body in shock. And is like, did you see the? Am I seeing things?
No, I didn't see anything. What happened? Was there a dog?
If it was a dog, it was a pretty scary, misshaped dog. Can Katie like look at the body and investigate it in some sort of, if she can find anything to prove anything of what she saw? Like claw marks that Toby is looking at or something, or if she's able to come to or see that or investigate it in some way?
Yeah, you can do a medicine check to see if you can like point out like, oh, this is this is that.
I do not have very high medicine, so we're going to see how this goes. $87.
Okay.
So that's
there's a lot of blood. The damage was done very quickly and aggressively. You're not able to pinpoint anything specific that would be like, oh yeah, giant fish monster did this.
Oh yeah. I think Katie will go over to the window to see if Lizzie sees anything out there. Because she assumes that since Lizzie went to the window that she also might have seen the same thing she did.
Okay. As you are both heading to the window, we'll do this and then we'll get over to Augustine. Both of you give me another spot hidden.
That's a success, 48.
Regular success.
Success.
Ooh. I can tell you right now, it's not a success for me. It's a 74.
Do you want to push the roll?
What will happen if I push the roll?
As you're leaning around this broken window to look outside, just reaching into like the window frame, you're probably going to get some cuts on your hands and forearms and stuff.
Sure. Why not?
Push it!
I'll push the roll.
Push it.
If it's all zeros, I think it's 100, right?
Oh.
The all zeros is 100, yes.
Yeah.
So that is a fumble.
That's the opposite. That I got the opposite. The opposite of what I wanted.
Wait, all
So
zeros
on
is
a
100?
fumble, that is
Sorry,
the absolute worst you can roll.
Awesome.
So you aren't going to just take damage from the window, which is 3 points of damage. As you slice your hand, you slip on some of the glass and you tumble outside the window. Crashing. It's ground floor, so like you're not falling out of a window, but it's still
Not like
a
into the
couple
ocean.
feet down. Yeah. The house doesn't sit that close to the cliff. But you
gotcha.
tumble
that was
out the
worse.
window. You tumble out the window onto your back as the rain is just drenching you instantly. And you don't see, but Lizzie and Toby see about 7 of these creatures approaching the house from the south side of the building. Toby, I need you to make me a sanity check, as this is the first time you've seen this. And Lizzie, I also need a sanity check, but for a reason that I will explain in just a moment.
Okay.
Am I rolling sanity?
You haven't seen this because you fell out and you're on your back right now.
Oh, so she's the only one not seeing this.
Yes,
Failure.
you took 3 damage from the window, and then another 1 as you fell on your back.
Failure as well.
Oh, so I took 4?
4 total, yes.
Okay.
And then your guys' sanity checks. Liz, you said failure. Toby?
Yeah, failure.
Okay.
93.
You ask about a dog, seeing the wounds on Percival's throat, and know that there's no way this could be a dog. And as you glance out, you see a swarm of these creatures approaching the house. Long, like loping arms, almost like length of like orangutans, like how long they are compared to the rest of their body, coming at you as the lightning flashes and you see them illuminated against the darkness. And as they're approaching, you see Vincent come running from the front of the house. He reaches under his shirt and pulls out a necklace that starts to emanate this yellow light. And as this light emanates out to these creatures, they kind of recoil in fear, and they step back a few steps, and they slowly start to retreat as you're both going to lose 4 points of sanity. He rushes over to Katie, grabs her, and just kind of bodily lifts her up and shoves her back in the window and climbs in behind you. And he's trying to like, we got to get out of this room. Get back to the hallway. Get back to the hallway. Like trying to push you out of the room to have some like actual physical barrier between you guys and these creatures. And he's shoving you out into the hallway to shut the door behind him. Augustine and Harrow. Harrow is still in these fits of maniacal laughter uncontrollably. Augustine, you see this room, and it's very strange seeing this room, but you have a trained eye for not quite insanity, but obsession. It kind of goes hand in hand with your business. A lot of the occult, obscure artifacts, ancient relics, and you are able to piece together real quickly. Actually, give me a library use check to see how much information you obtain.
I've got some decent libraries. I scope out the murder board ? Okay, that is a 9.
Ooh,
Under 50. So that's under even. Oh, that's even
that's an
under the
extreme
5th one.
success.
Yeah. Oh, this is not my first murder board.
No, this is not your first murder board. You see here, pieced together, similar to the events that Katie and Lizzie uncovered in the library. You see a couple pages from a book torn out about the eruption of Mount Vesuvius, timelining to this dancing plague of 1518, timelining to the sinking of the Titanic, and you see a very blurry photo that was taken from the ship as it was sinking. Somebody grabbed a picture, maybe accidentally, of the iceberg. And as you're looking at it, I need you to make me a sanity roll, please.
Okay. That is a 22 under 76.
Okay. So you're not going to suffer any long-term effects. You are going to take 2 points of sanity loss. As you see this, it looks like an iceberg. You blink a few times, you're like, wait, this looks like a fin of a massive fish creature of some sort. You're not an iceberg expert, but you saw the pictures that were in the paper. This is definitely nothing that was circulated about in the public eye. You can see people frantically scrambling around in like the foreground of the picture. It almost looks like the picture was taken as like the camera was falling, so it's a little blurry and not processed correctly. But you could swear that this chunk of iceberg looks more curved than other pictures you've seen, like the tail, the fin on some sort of massive fish. As you're piecing these together, you see the current year that you're in, and as you're looking at that information, you see a page that looks like it's original. Actually, on that extreme success, you know that this is original. This isn't a reprint or a copy or anything. You see what looks to be made out of skin and painted with, you're hoping it's just red ink, but noting how this room looks, you could probably assume worse. It mentions a massive moving of the earth in the land of the rising sun. And when that earth moves, thousands upon thousands will die. That is happening later this year. As you track this thread past this year's date, you see... I need to change my tabs real quick. You see a painting of the Italian countryside. You're not able to figure out exactly where, but you see a painting of this massive lake, and you see pictures that were probably from an Italian newspaper of a dam that's being constructed. And then one of the pictures has been torn in half, as the prediction is this dam will break, causing thousands to lose their lives. This is indicated in the 1960s. And as you look further down this timeline, you see happening not quite as far east as the moving of the earth, but still far into the area of Russia on the map. You see a drawing of a large, not quite a cone, but like an hourglass as it's slowly burning down the sides. And as you're piecing these things together, you're seeing not just disasters from the past, but what seem to be predictions of things that are to be happening in the future as soon as later this year and as far as 40, 50 years later.
Okay. Can I tell, is there a through line between these disasters? Like a common element between them, or are they just different sort of disasters predicted?
The common element seems to be large amounts of casualties. Vesuvius was around 1,500 people, same with the sinking of the Titanic, but they do seem to be escalating in severity as the timeline progresses. With that extreme success, I will say one more thing. As you're looking through all of this, you see a symbol. So you see Harrow has latched onto this medallion. This is the one that he sold you and you resold. This eye shape that looks just like the scars on his hand. You see that draped over some of the pegs of these past events, and then pinned to the board in the top, you see a symbol that looks like a question mark connecting to other question marks, with that dot in the center, like three of them spiraling out, as in these are two separate groups. These disasters in the past are being caused by one, and this symbol at the top looks like they're trying to prevent those, but have been unsuccessful thus far.
And Harrow is still cackling. Do
Harrow
you have
is still
the
cackling,
pendant now,
yes.
or are you just looking at it?
I think I went straight for it. I've grabbed it off the
Okay.
wall, and I'm just clutching it in my hand, elated to have finally found it.
I think I kind of want to hold my cane a little bit in between us, not threateningly, just to have something between us if he were to lunge at me. But it's hey there, friend. You found what you're looking for?
I found it. It's here. You see, the dreams, the nightmares.
That's great.
It's over. I just gotta get it back.
So now we chuck it in the sea?
Yes.
Or
back where it came from.
all right. Well, we're pretty near there. We can handle that. And I kind of just look over, scan over all the things pinned to the wall, and be like, maybe that journalist lady should have a look at some of this. And I'll start to approach you to kind of usher you out the room. Be like, you ready to come out now, or you want to stay in a little bit longer?
Is there a window in this room?
Yeah, there would be a window on the front of the house and the other side of the house, yeah.
Can I see the sea from it?
You probably could see it from the one facing south, but it would be far off. Because like the way the house is on the cliffside, the south side just like goes down the coast, so you probably see like a little bit of the ocean out there. You just diving out the window.
Are we on the ground floor?
Yes, you guys are on the ground floor.
Harrow jumps out the window.
Okay.
Nice.
I will say you take 1 point of damage for jumping through the window. As you're jumping out of the window, I would say Vincent is getting in through the other window with everybody else, so you don't see that happening. And you start to sprint toward the cliffside. Augustine, is there anything you would like to do to try to stop him?
You know
Or
what? No, I don't think
follow?
so.
Okay.
Like, I think when he jumps out, I like kind of lean out in the hall, and be like, "Oh, we got a runner, y'all. If I could have a hand," and then like kind of see the carnage coming in like through the other door.
Yeah, as you lean out into the hallway, that's exactly when Vincent, Katie, Lizzie, and Toby come back in. Vincent slams the door behind him. Harrow, as you're tearing off through the yard, give me a spot hidden, but I'm going to say that this is going to be with the opposite of a bonus die. I don't remember what that's called.
I think it's a penalty
But-
die.
Penalty
Yeah.
die, that's the word, thank you.
Yes.
Roll the 10s twice and take the worst one.
Oh my god, I got a 10 on both of them. That's an 18.
Oh,
Which
snap, okay.
is... Can I spend luck points on this?
On a spot hidden, yeah.
I'm going to spend 3 to get that into a hard success.
Okay. As you dive out the window, you do a quick tumble and you're up on your feet and you start sprinting as fast as you can to the water. To your right, you know that's the bridge that you all arrived in. And you're not really paying attention to it, but just at a quick glance around, you know that there are some things over there that probably didn't know you were there until you jumped out a window, but now they are starting to follow you as you're sprinting towards the cliffside. With the hard success, you see some of these creatures, the ones you just saw in the laundry room, off to the side. Like, you have a clear path to the cliffside still, but off to your left, there's about 6 or 7 things over here, and then 6 or 7 things behind you that are now coming towards you.
I think
What direction would you like to go?
Harrow is convinced these things are here because this thing needs to go back in the water. So as he starts to hear and starts to see these things around him, he holds up the pendant. I'm taking it back, and keeps running straight forward.
Okay. You start sprinting through the storm. These things start loping after you, long arms like rapidly gaining on you as you're just sprinting as fast as you can, knees to chest, trying to make it to the cliff before they make it to you. And you get close enough that you pull back your arm to throw it, and as you pull your arm back, one of them grabs your arm and slams you to the ground as they dogpile on top of you and start tearing into you, and you start bleeding out there on the cliffside with the medallion still in your hand.
Get off! It needs to go back! He tries to fight, but it's useless.
They quickly swarm over you, and you are devoured and torn to shreds by these creatures.
I think that he, with his dislocated arm, bloody with his wounds, he holds up the pendant as they tear him apart. He holds it up as best he can to try and keep it away from them, and tries to make some sort of motion to throw it with his last will.
As the last breath leaves your lungs, you just dying blood just running out of your body. You just very kind of almost casually and it drops from your hand as your hand drops to the ground dead. So back in the mansion, Vincent has reappeared, shoving you guys all back into the hallway, slamming the door behind him. Augustine, you see this scene happen. He is drenched. Katie is drenched as well. Vincent is completely disheveled, tie gone, vest ripped open. You see the necklace around his neck, and you see that same symbol of those spiraling question marks on the pendant around his neck. Lizzie and Toby, you know that something came from that pendant to drive these creatures back. Katie did not see this as she was on her back, having fallen out a window. What would you like to do? Vincent, scrambling, is trying to get everybody together. Is like, all right, so Percival's gone. What happened to Harrow?
Harrow
Kate
just jumped out a
conscious?
window.
Okay, so he's dead too. We got to get out of here.
What?
We got to make her back to the car. We got to pile in the car. We all got to get going.
What is going on? What the hell is happening? We can't go out there. There are things out there.
We can't stay in here because they're going to get in here too.
What's out there?
Whatever killed Percival. And if God.
At this point, you hear a shattering of glass coming from the dining room. All right, let's go upstairs. You want some explanation? Let's go upstairs. We'll hide in my room. We can hide there. Let's go. And he starts to run up the stairs to get off the ground floor.
Toby has pulled out his pistol and is ushering everybody to follow him, and I'll take Vanguard.
Okay.
Yeah, I think Lizzie follows suit and takes out her Derringer and follows.
Okay. You guys you rush upstairs. Vincent heads across the hallway, opens up his bedroom door, waits for you guys all to come inside, slams the door and locks it. Listen, we don't have a lot of time. The reason I invited you all here was that I needed your help, and I thought I had more time. But the things that are after us are part of a larger plot to destroy the world. I don't know if you looked in my office at all, but there was a group of people trying to end humanity as we know it. They've caused countless disasters over history, and they're planning to do more. My group, and he pulls his necklace out and shows you guys all the symbol, is trying to stop them from doing that, but everything we've tried to do has been prevented. So I was asking you all here for help to try and branch out and have a wider network of people that we could work with. Apparently I was too late. So we need to try and get out of here. My car's by the bridge. If we can make it to my car, we can't outrun them, but we can definitely outdrive them. Who wants to go out the window?
This is crazy. What? There's a group of people trying to destroy the world? What?
He grabs you by the lapels of your shirt and starts shaking I don't have time to explain more. If we wait any longer, we're gonna end up like Percival and probably Harrow.
All right. Sure, let's go.
Is there anything we can use to distract them while we make a break for it?
They are very apt predators, but they are simple. A distraction of any kind could probably give us a few extra minutes. He starts pulling the bedclothes off of the bed, and he's tying them together to make a rope ladder to toss out the window. You guys both have guns. Go keep an eye on the door.
All right.
All right.
Katie and Augustine, how would you like to assist in helping?
Katie is conscious, right? She's still...
Yeah, you didn't get knocked out when you fell out the window or anything.
Okay, I just didn't know if... Okay. If they're watching the window... What could you do to help? Could she try to block the doors or something?
Well, Lizzie and Toby are watching the door, so if they come up the stairs.
Okay, gotcha.
If you and Augustine just want to help Vincent tie these things up, grabbing any sort of long length of fabric, a jacket, a long shirt, whatever.
Oh yeah.
Tying it together.
Oh yeah.
Okay. So you guys are working together on that. Toby and Lizzie, You're both hanging out by the door. Toby, being his chivalrous self, probably is a little closer. But you hear like wet footsteps coming through the hallway, and even from up on the second floor, you can hear like a of noses in the air trying to gain the scent of something, and they start to slowly climb up the steps. Are you just going to wait and take shots at them as they come up the steps, or are you going to try and do some sort of distraction?
I'll look over at Lizzie and I'll be like, "What do you think?"
And she's like shaking, like the gun's trembling in her hands. I don't know. Vincent, is there any alcohol in here?
No, I don't keep anything in my room.
Is would there perhaps be a phonograph somewhere?
It would have been
Something to
down
play
on
a record.
the first floor in the drinks parlor. I don't have one of those in my...
Nothing upstairs. All right.
Toby's going to take a moment to look and see if there's anything he can use to bar the door closed.
Oh yeah, there's like wardrobes, dressers, and stuff like that. You could definitely shift that stuff around.
At this point, I think that's Toby's gonna be like, I think we should just try to block this door. I think realistically, you guys want a distraction, but we're gonna leave the house. Do you think they'll jump out the window after us?
It's possible, but we have no other means of egress right now.
All right. Well, I say if you want them to be distracted toward this door but can't get through, that seems like a good solution. So maybe if I take a shot at one of them and then we push something in front of the door so that they can't get through.
Yeah.
But I might need all of your help with this because we got to move that thing fast as soon as I take a shot.
Okay, so yeah, Katie, Augustine, and Lizzie, you're gonna like prepare yourselves to like push something in front of the door. Toby, you're gonna take a shot at one when you see it come up. Okay. Vincent's over there tying this stuff up, and he's getting ready. He's got like a loop of it, ready to like bust the window out. And he like elbows it out, shatters the glass, and throws it out as the first one of these appears at the top of the stairs. Go ahead and take a firearms shot with your... Was that a Derringer you got?
Yeah. Nice. That's a 17, so that's a hard success.
Ooh, okay.
Nice.
So go ahead and roll your damage, which is 1d6.
1d6. That's a 4.
Ooh, okay. So one of them comes up the stairs, and you get a clean shot off, and you see the bullet like tear through its eye as it just unleashes this unholy scream and like spirals and starts to fall back down the stairs. But it's quickly replaced by two more as they start to more aggressively come up the stairs. The three of you, go ahead and give me strength checks to try and push this over.
Oh, wow. That's a hard success for me with an 11.
Okay.
Nice.
Can you use luck to lower the number that we rolled?
Yeah, you can use luck to get a better number for a success, yeah.
Okay. So, because I got a 48 and it's my regular is a 45, so I think I might just use 3 luck points.
Yep, that works.
To cover that.
Okay. Augustine, what'd you get?
Oh, sorry. Oh, that's an 87 over 55.
Okay.
Rats.
With a hard success and a regular success, that's still good enough. The three of you were able to... Toby takes the shot, dips back into the room, slams the door, and the three of you are ready to just push this dresser, this large wardrobe in front of the door. Looks pretty well blocked. So you have barricaded the door to Vincent's bedroom. He has already tossed this rope ladder out and is looking out, checking around to make sure there's nothing waiting at the bottom. He says, all right, the distraction I'm sure will help. There's a lot of them. We got to get out of this window. We got to get down here fast, get to the car. Let's go. And he climbs out and starts making his way down this improvised ladder that he's put together. What order would you guys like to go in?
do we need to be? Because we're there to block the door, right? Are we just? Because he shot the. Did he shoot yet?
Yes, he shot and killed one of them. You guys shoved the thing in front of the door, but like,
Okay, so we already did that.
yeah, they know this is where you are, but Toby suggested that instead of distracting them somewhere else, let them know where we're at, but block them. So now they have to not get through the door, but also the wardrobe behind it, which you guys are hoping will give you enough time to get out the window.
Okay. Yeah, I'll go right after then. I'll go with Vincent.
Okay.
I'll
Give me a climb check.
Sick. I'm gonna say to Vincent as I do this, you owe us a real party next time.
He's like a few feet below you. The window's probably about 25 feet up, by the way.
Okay.
As you make that offhand, he was like, fine, whatever.
Absolutely. Okay. Climb.
Yes.
Do I have any luck left? I only have 4. I don't have a lot of luck. I got a 26, which is 6 over the regular
Success.
that I have. So it's a
Okay,
it's
so a failure.
and I don't have enough luck to bring that down.
Okay. So you can push the roll. If you push and fail again, you could very potentially fall off the ladder, the rope.
I'm not gonna push it.
Okay.
I'm not pushing it.
You still failed, so you're going to slip and fall down the ladder. You will be able to like catch it later. Like you're gonna fall past Vincent. You're gonna like tumble into him. So he is going to make a climb check to see if you knock him off.
Sorry.
You like your hand. You're not used to you're used to like paper cuts and ink smudges and stuff as you're like rifling through papers. You're not used to like physically climbing down stuff, and it's already drenched in rain, and you slip and you drop suddenly a few feet, kicking Vincent in the head, knocking him off. He plummets to the ground, and with a sickening wet splat, does not get up. But you are able to regain your grip
So
on
bad.
the rope.
Yeah,
Shit.
it's bad.
Who would like to follow Katie out the window?
God, I was gonna say me, but now I'm not so sure. Like, his plan
Go
was
ahead.
to go in the middle.
I'll take the back. I'll watch the door.
I like tuck my my cane belt or my cane sword into my belt there and start over the ladder.
Okay.
What am
Give
I
me
rolling?
a climb check, please.
Climb. Oh, X. Oh wait, no, that's good. 0 is good. That's an 8. That's probably under whatever I've got. Is a 20 on climb. Okay, that's good. All right.
Yeah, so with an 8, that's a hard success. You've done a little bit
yeah.
of digging in ruins and ancient cities and stuff before. You do like to lead a more laid back life, but this isn't unfamiliar with you. The situation is a little extreme, but you're able to just hand over hand slowly make your way down the rope. Toby said they were going last, so Lizzie.
All right, I'll make my way down. That's a 73, so failure.
Okay. You can push the roll, which if you fail that, like I said, could cause you to fall off. But as we saw what just happened with Katie, something drastic might happen to your party members at this point.
I think she's like freaking out, so she's trying to climb down too fast. I don't think she's gonna push it, but I think
Okay.
that's what causes her to fail.
Okay. Augustine, you are next underneath Lizzie. So same thing that happened with Katie. She drops, is able to regain her grip, but does kick you in the head. Give me another climb check for you to stay on the rope.
Oh fuck, that's a 56 over 20.
Do
I'll
you
try and
have-
push it because I for sure I mean it would cost a lot. It would be like 30 luck.
Gotcha.
I could spend
Okay.
it, but I think I'd rather try to push it because he really doesn't want to fall off that rope.
Okay.
So you rerolled it
yeah.
10s, yes?
Just roll it again, the whole thing again. But yeah, on a failed push,
okay.
you would fall off the rope.
But I don't fall off the rope now?
Well, sorry, on a failed
If the
push,
failed-
you're going to fall either way. It's just a matter of how much damage you'll take.
Oh, all right. If it'll be, I'll try to survive this then.
Okay.
I'll
You
try
had already
to
made.
land well.
Okay. In that case, give me a dexterity check to see how much of this damage you can
okay.
mitigate.
Okay. Dex. Not super dexterous. That's a 52. My dex is a 45. I'll spend the whatever that is. I'll math it here to succeed that.
7, I think, then?
52 to 45? Yes.
Yeah.
7. Okay.
Okay. Yeah, so, Lizzie slips, kicks you in the head, and you fall. You'd already made pretty good progress, so you're not falling as far as Vincent, and you're able to, like, twist your body a little bit. You do feel a slight cracking in your ankle as you take 4 points of damage, and your ankle is definitely broken, but the adrenaline is rushing through your body. You're still going to be able to move around.
Okay. I draw
Toby.
my sword cane the moment I hit the ground.
Okay. You're now on the ground. Katie is just about on the ground. Lizzie, you're now about halfway down. Toby, as you're going to make your way out the window, the door is ripped off of its hinges, and the dresser worked. It's not able to easily climb over, but it starts to like force its way through. And I need you to make a power check, please.
So I got 77. It's a fail.
Okay. As you already have like a leg looped over the frame to squeeze your way out. You look back and this thing looks at you, and this sonic sound starts to shriek, not from its mouth, but like from its gills. And you can see these like waves of force pushing towards you. As these hit you, you no longer feel the urge to run away. You feel as a part of a pack with these creatures, and they are now your first and last line of defense, and you now wish to protect them at all costs. I need you to take a firearm shot at Lizzie, who is the closest to you in the climb order, as your mind is no longer your own, but you are working as part of the pack to protect them.
That is a 10.
That is
Which would be
hard success.
that's a hard success.
Okay, go ahead and roll damage.
5.
That is a major wound. Lizzie, I need you to make a dex check with a penalty die, and this needs to be a hard success.
We're all gonna die on the side of the house.
Gosh. That was a critical fumble. Yeah.
So
What'd you get?
100.
the bullet tears through your shoulder and your hands release as you black out. Katie, I need you to make a dex check as Lizzie's unconscious body is falling from the sky towards you.
I do.
Yes.
What check? I'm
Dex.
still shocked. Dex? Okay. I got exactly my dex
Okay.
for a regular success, which is 55.
Okay. You are able to like swing on the rope a little bit as Lizzie falls past you, And as she's blacking out from the gunshot, you make a brief connection in her eyes. As you just saw this happen with Vincent, she plummets to the ground next to Augustine, and with a sickening crack, her skull splits open, and you're going to take 8 more damage, which will kill you.
Done.
Augustine, you see Lizzie drop next to you and just splatter across the ground. I need you to make a
And we for sure
sanity check, please.
Oh, and we for sure saw Toby shoot her. Yeah.
You heard a gunshot, and then her body fell.
Okay. Oh, that's not good. That's a 97. My sanity is 74. I'll go a little insane. That makes sense. This was a lot. Yeah, I failed.
This was a lot. You just met this woman a few hours ago. You weren't friends, but she seemed nice. She seemed smart, capable. You have no idea what's going on. You still haven't seen these creatures. But as you land, your ankle breaks next to Vincent's body. Another body lands next to you. You quickly see the bullet hole in her shoulder, and you surmise that something's wrong with Toby, or these creatures have guns, which could be even worse. And
or
you're
maybe
going
there
to
are
suffer.
Creatures and Toby's killing people.
Could also be that. You're going to suffer 10 points of sanity loss, which is going to make you temporarily insane.
Sure.
And at this point, you are it's impossible for you to sit still, and you start tearing off for the car before Katie's even off the rope or Toby's out the window. Pain in your ankle, completely disregarded. You're streaking through the night trying to get to the car. Katie, give me one last climb check to make your way down and try and run after Augustine.
Augustine!
Run, Toby's gonna get you too.
One and 2 zeros is 1?
That is a 1.
Question mark. Okay. Yeah, so I got a 1.
That's the best you could get.
Excellent.
That is a critical success. You realize how far down you've already made it. You're like, I can drop this without taking any damage. And you do. You let go of the rope, you spin, you do the superhero pose, and you just immediately start to take off after Augustine.
Augustine, wait!
And with Augustine's injured ankle, you're able to quickly catch up to Augustine as you're both running from the house into the night towards where the car is. Excuse me, Toby, I need one more power check from you, please.
Run.
I am very well aware of what's at stake with this roll. What is the penalty if I push the roll?
If you push this roll and fail, your mind will become completely lost to these creatures.
Okay. Doing some math real fast. I actually have a lot of luck, so I think I'm going to spend 34 luck to go from an 84 to a 50.
Woof.
34 luck, by the way, is 1 point less than Katie's total. Like, some of you guys rolled so well on luck points. I think somebody had 80 luck.
That was me.
I did.
Oh, that was you. Okay.
Oh, no.
Augustine, you had like 70, I think.
Luck?
I had 80.
I had 7. I had 7 luck. That was all the luck I had.
Dang.
Dang.
Well, it started at 80, and then I dropped to 64 with the reduction.
Honestly, worth it.
So,
Worth it.
with a now success on your power check, you are able to break free of this debilitating effect that, like, you know what just happened. You'll live with that memory forever. But your mind is now your own again, and you're able to try and climb out the window and make your escape if you would so choose. At this point, the creature is probably like wriggled about halfway through the door frame, but it's still like it's a very small gap with the dresser in front of the door, but it is getting its way through eventually.
Is it a single creature?
You can see more behind it in the door, like out in the hallway, but there's just one coming through right now.
And there's just one pathway.
Just the door frame, yeah.
I'm shooting it in the face.
Go ahead, make a shot.
What's my shooting at?
45 is a success.
Doing math in my head. I can't do it with luck. I'm gonna push a roll. What is the penalty if I push it?
The penalty on this would be a misfire, and the gun would probably blow up in your hand, causing some sort of damage to you.
Gotta risk it for the biscuit.
Biscuits.
33. Yes.
Okay. And that would now...
That'll be a regular success.
Yeah. I'm just trying to think if pushing a gun uses another bullet or not. We'll say no. So that was your third shot then? Okay. Yeah, so go ahead and roll damage for that.
That's a 6. Beautiful.
Damn. Yeah, you know what you just did to Lizzie, a woman you met a few hours ago. Maybe she was a person, had a job, parents maybe she had kids of her own. You didn't even get the time to find out. Whatever she had, she'll never have again, and that's something you'll remember for the rest of your life. But in this moment, you remember that, and you steady your aim, and you let loose a round straight down between the eyes of this creature, and the back of its head explodes, peppering the wall with rancid fish guts as you redeem yourself a little bit and climb out the window to follow Augustine and Katie. Give me a climb check.
And positive note, now the body's plugging the hole, so that's another obstacle.
True.
That is
Not wrong.
a 78. That's a fail.
Okay. You don't make any progress. You're like still trying to get positioned at the top of the window. Augustine and Katie, you're making your way towards the car. Katie, you're probably moving a little bit faster. Are you trying to outpace Augustine, or are you just running next to Augustine?
I think if Katie can get she wouldn't be waiting. If she can get a head start to get the car up and running, that's probably what her goal is. So I don't think if she can outpace, she will.
Okay. Let's see here.
Only to get the getaway car running quicker.
Especially with that other gunshot. He's coming after us. We gotta go.
Katie, you do have a better dex just in general, so your move I think is also higher. 7 and 5, yeah. So you're able to catch up, especially with Augustine having that injured ankle. You're able to catch up and run past. Is there any information you guys want to exchange real quick, or are you both just trying to get to the car as fast as possible?
I think at least Katie's trying to get to the car as fast as possible. I don't know how many words would be exchanged as they're making a quick break for it.
Yeah, I'm a little insane right now, too, so he's probably just screaming that Toby's gonna get us.
Okay. You guys tear off. You see the car by the bridge. You tear off to the car, fling the doors open and jump inside. And you both have this sudden sinking realization that you don't have a key to the car.
No.
As you jump in the car, you slam the doors behind you. Katie, you hop in the driver's seat, scrambling around. You panic and start patting yourself down, remembering that this isn't your car. Why would you have the keys? It's Vincent's car. You probably have the keys. And as you're both in the car, a swarm of deep ones starts to surround the car, punching through windows, ripping doors off. pulling your bodies out of the car into the night where they are destroyed in the darkness.
Great.
Dang.
Toby, as you start to descend the ladder, the rope, you are not sure what happened, but these creatures now seem to not fear you, but they are no longer aggressive towards you. You slide down the rope, you have your gun ready, you know you only have 3 rounds left, but you're looking around. You have the forethought to grab the keys from Vincent. And as you're making your way towards the car, you...
Can I also grab the amulet that I saw him wearing? The necklace?
Sure, yeah, you can grab that too.
Yeah.
As you make your way towards the car, these creatures aren't reacting in fear from you, but they're no longer looking to tear you limb from limb. Something must have happened for that brief moment you were under the other thing's control, that they now see you as similar to them, if not outright one of them. You had that thought of, oh, I'm a part of a pack. They now have that same thought for you. As you make your way to the car, you see that you don't see any sign of Katie or Augustine, but the car has been in a fight. It looks like some of the windows are shattered, the doors removed. There's some claw marks on the hood, the seats, but at this point, you need to get out of here. As much as you want to protect other people, you have a girl and you have a baby on the way. And at this point, you see a way out. You hop in the car, start it up, and start to drive away from the house.
As I'm driving away, in my head, I'm still thinking, I'm a pack, part of a pack. What does a pack do? A pack stays together. Would they follow me?
As you're driving the car over the bridge, you see that they do follow at a distance, but as you start to go more inland, they are staying towards the shore. But as you start to drive back home, you glance to the east, and you feel like just maybe here and there, you can see something splashing in the water out in the distance, as if something is following you back home.
I would like to make one quick stop before I get to my house.
Sure.
But that is... I would pull up in front of Francisco's house, and I would leave him a note in his mailbox. All it says is, let's go fishing and have a chat. Toby.
You leave that note. It's the middle of the night by now. By the time you made it back to the city, nobody sees you. No checks to be made. As you make your way back home, you feel a little itch along the side of your neck, and it becomes uncontrollable, and you accidentally, it seems, kind of like dig your nails into the side of your neck, and as you're looking in the mirror, you see a red mark that looks like flaps of skin as you see gills start to grow on the side of your neck. And with that, we will fade to black, as Toby is the sole survivor of today's adventure.